It's subtly different.
I like
I'll
it.
give you a little bit of the setting chunk at the beginning of the rules, because John Harper does this better than I do. But it is the year 847 of the Imperium, which united the shattered islands of the Cataclysm under one rule: all glory to His Majesty the Immortal Emperor. The unquiet spirits of the dead, free to roam the world since the gates of death were shattered in the Cataclysm, prey on every living thing in the blasted deadlands between cities. The port of Duskwall, like every city stronghold of the Imperium, is encircled by crackling lightning towers, which create an electrical barrier that spirits cannot pass. By law, all corpses are incinerated with electroplasm to destroy the spirit essence within, don't you know? Science. However, wealthy citizens, heretics of the spirit cults, and the criminal element often arrange for a spirit to escape destruction at the crematorium. Rogue spirits and the illegal spirit essences derived from them are a rich trade for the black market. The docks of Duskwall and the cold windswept northern tip of Akaros are home port for the titanic iron steamships of Leviathan hunters. The blood of these massive demons is the catalyst that gives potency to the plasmic oils which power the city. The noble elites make their fortunes from the fleets of Leviathan hunters they deploy on the ink-dark waters of the Never Sea. It's pretty...
Wow.
Yeah.
That was pretty intense.
If you've ever played the game
Nice.
Dishonored, or that kind of stuff, there's a few... The video game Dishonored by Arcane Studios, a bunch of books that I've heard of called the Vlad Taltos series, the stories of Vafford and the Grey Mouser, the Lies of Locke Lamora, and The Thief, the Dark Project games are good kind of benchmarks to the sort of place this is. I will just drop the link to the rule set in there for Cord, Mythmatic, sorry.
Oh, yes.
Because I don't think you were in the chat when you saw them.
Okay. Yep.
Page 22, I believe, is where characters getting made start. So, the situation you guys are in is that, so this shattered empire, as it were, we are in the city of Duskwall, which is the capital of an island called Akaros. Specifically in a small district of it called the Crow's Foot, where there are three big gangs kind of going head-to-head for control of the place. The largest gang, who are kind of the mafia of the area, are called the Crows. It used to be run by a guy called Rorik till this girl Lissa has just taken control after he died. A lot of people think she killed him for it. And as he died, the peace that he had brokered between two rival gangs in the area fell apart, and now these two gangs called the Lampblacks and the Red Sashes are back at each other's throats. The Lampblacks are basically were the people who lit all the street lamps that were gas-powered, but with the upgrade to electrical lamps, they all went out of work at the same time and decided, well, we're just going to make a gang then. And nowadays have like a lot of smugglers and drug dealers under their employ. And meanwhile, the Red Sashes was a school of like swordsmen, kind of semi-religious order, semi-swordsmanship school, and then kind of realized, wait a second, we're one of the finest military forces in this area. We could just kind of take it. And so they have a lot of master swordsmen and kind of fancy potion crafters, people like that. And what do they run? They run a lot of drug dens across the district. The Crows kind of run everything else. A lot of gambling joints, bars, that sort of stuff. The idea of you guys is that you are all bottom-of-the-rung scoundrels, having just come together to form a small crew of thieves out to make a profit. You have no reputation. You have a couple friends, a few bits of equipment, and a hidey hole, your lair. And that's all that your gang currently has. And we're going to find out what your scoundrels are like, and then what your gang is kind of will be known for, whether it's ruthless, ambitious, whether you're all really sneaky as a result of being here, or what exactly is up with you. And then we'll go play the game and steal from terrible people to give to your terrible people.
I like it.
Yes. So, as I say, page 22 is is where the character creation starts. Just a step-by-step of what you need to do to make your character. I will run through with the other two first, because Joe and Chip, because these guys we've just spent a little while chatting through some things, because we had to haggle over a giant dragon pet.
It happens.
Yeah, you know, I had to kind of try and convince Chip that a dragon isn't the most ideal for a cat burglar. So,
in what way? Do you
well,
mean?
you know, you want to be sneaky and quiet, so maybe a giant Valor the Dreaded or whatever.
Instead of get a baby dragon.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've kind of, I think...
I see where you're coming from, Finbar, but at the same time, then you don't have a dragon.
You make a very good point.
That's, yeah.
Exactly.
but I think we have settled somewhere in semi-demonic pterodactyl-like creature.
Okay.
Is that roughly what we've ended up on?
Vaguely, yeah.
I dig
Okay.
it. I can dig it.
So let's talk through your scoundrel then, Chip. So tell us about Zamira Templeton.
I don't know. Where do you want me to start, Finbar?
Oh, I guess her name, her alias, like what does she look like? Where's she from? What has she done before? What is she good at?
Okay, Zamira Templeton, also known as Trick, is a male to female ex-killer from the underworld. Because why the fuck not?
Yeah, previously with the Red Sashes gang, right? And you
Yes.
killed people for them.
Yes.
Fantastic.
She's quite a slender-looking girl. She is often seen sporting a tricorn hat and heavy work boots, along with loose silks.
Fancy.
She likes to mix and match it a little
Sounds
bit.
like the assassin out of was it Assassin's Creed Liberation almost. But I'm sorry, I'm cutting in. Yeah. Oh, an important thing about your character and about all characters is that the way that this game tracks things like HP and how survivable you are, the thing that gives you the edge over NPCs is that you have a pool of stress that you can use to make yourself better at things one time off or resist danger. And the only way that you can get stress down is by indulging your vice. So a very important thing about your character is what vice they take. So what vice does Zamira have?
Vice. Oh, I've written it down somewhere.
I remember if you don't.
Yeah, can you?
Yeah, so Zamira Templeton basically fritters away all her money and paychecks from heists, seducing lovers, because really, what better way is there to get rid of stress than sex? Other such vices include drink,
I
drugs,
see.
God, gambling, just being really alone. Then there's some really weird, like
That's a bit too close to home.
buying stuff. Luxuries is basically you just retail therapy yourself down, and then you get into the weird ones. Like there's just one that is just called weird, which kind of leaves you. I think that's the other please specify kind of vice.
Banana fetish.
And then pain, charity. Some of them are a little weirdly defined, but I'll leave that to you guys. Okay, so Zamira is a character class known as a hound, which is described as a deadly marksman and tracker.
Woof.
This also means that Zamira has, yes, her pet kind of demon pterodactyl-ish bird thing. What was that? What was that thing's name again? Chip?
Buckbeak.
Buckbeak. Yep.
Buckbeak.
There we go.
Buckbeak.
Buckbeak.
With whom she has the special ability to link her mind, so she can see through its eyes, hear what it hears, all that good stuff.
Oh, my lord.
So I suppose it makes her an excellent reconnaissance agent. At the same time, she is a practiced hand with pistols, long rifles, good in a fist fight, and kind of a keen eye to have around. And yeah, I believe that is Zamira.
Cool.
So next on my little list is Joe. Tell me about your character.
Right, my character is called Wystan. He's the leech class. His ability is that he is venomous, so I can spit this poison at people, which is called
Skullflame.
which ignites and catches fire upon contact with human skin. My character's backstory is that basically he was from the island of Tykeros, which is where all the demon people live. But he was a common labourer who was experimented upon by the lords and nobles there, and basically all his skin has blackened and hardened and looks almost like a black lizard man from Heroes 3. Yeah, so basically I'm this kind of lizard thing that shoots burning poison out of its mouth. And I have like a black, like at the start of the Dark Souls 2 thematic trailer, that kind of classic hooded cloak thing going on.
Nice.
Classic.
What is your vice, by the way?
My vice is drugs to deal with all the pain of the fact that I'm pumped through a burning acid.
Venom.
Yeah, it's poison that is consistently igniting as it moves through your veins. So you kind of you self-medicate, I believe is the term.
Yep.
That would kinda get
it's
you
a
down.
cheery bunch of people we've got going.
Thank you, Chip Elter, for following. Welcome.
Oh, that's Chip.
In that
cool.
case, you're not welcome.
All right, so we have two characters to talk through their creation then. So who wants to go first, Will or Cord?
I do.
Okay,
Okay.
so
Yes.
what playbook do you want to have, Will?
The Playboy book.
That you can do in your own time, fella.
Oh, okay.
That's a vice. That's a vice.
Yeah. This,
Well, you could do that, yeah.
thank you, magic based 1, 2, 4. Welcome. I will do. Well, I'm thinking I wanted to be like the Whisper thing, so I wanted to. Oh, and thank you, Geek and Nonsense. Welcome. So your playbook represents the nature of a character, their special abilities. Playbooks aren't really unique. Multiple players can choose the same one. Any recommendations?
So the kind of things are, so you have the cutter is a fighter. They're big, they're tough. They can do things like the not to be trifled with move. They can take means that you can like fight a very small group versus a very large group and not care. Things like that. They're good at that. The hound that Chip is playing is like a tracker. The leech is like a kind of doctor slash like knows a bit about technical stuff. The lurk is kind of the classic rogue. They're a spy. They get things like they can get a semi-invisibility cloak and stuff like that.
Just a semi.
Well, you know.
Phrasing.
Not
You
far.
know how it is.
The slide is like a subtle manipulator and spy. The list has. They kind of sound to me like a bard. You also get the best item in the game, which is a cane sword. If you play the slide.
Slide dibs.
I
Got
think
it.
I'm gonna go with this
Thank
last
you.
one.
Someone has taste. And then there's the whisper. Is a person who can fuck with ghosts.
Yeah, because I
This is a
can whisper.
whole.
Yeah, because I can whisper. I'm close, Finbar. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Creepy.
So that would make it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So I will be the whisper. I can
yeah,
talk to.
you're kind of the closest thing this game has to the magic class is the whisper because you can.
see dead people.
Okay.
Cool.
So-
I need to choose a starting special ability.
Yeah.
I will just spunk that one onto.
Well, so they have kind of the cool ones of
Oh,
things
yeah.
like Tempest of. If you kind of
Yeah,
expend
let's-
mental energy, you just make weather.
Let's make weather.
Okay.
That's very British. So yeah.
Making
Tempest.
weather.
Weather.
Make weather. That's what we do.
Every morning it's going to be gloomy.
Pretty much. It's a guarantee.
Yeah. Do bear in mind you only have 8 stress before you take a trauma.
Oh my lord.
Trauma's bad.
Sounds it.
4 trauma and you're just done. You physically are too terrified of the life to keep it going anymore. And I think after 1 trauma, you kind of collapse mid whatever it is you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, so while doing a 6 magnitude Tempest thing would be really awesome, it's also quite dangerous.
Gotcha. So I will tempestuously do that, and then I need to choose a heritage.
Yeah.
Okay, this looks.
So there's a little thing that describes them all on page 41. So there's
41.
Akros, which is the one we're currently in, where the city is.
Oh, yes.
Dark forest, rocky hills, rich coastal cities, and some mining colonies. There's Severos, which is where Zemira is from, which is windswept grass plains outside the imperial cities. Some native Severosi still hunt in tribes, scavenging the deathlands on their ghost hunting horses.
Cool.
Yeah, no.
That sounds pretty cool.
Iruvia, golden deserts. People say that some positions of power are openly held by demons. in
Hey, let's do that one. Demons.
Okay, from Iruvia.
Aruvia.
It's the place to be from.
I mean, it really is. It's
Yeah.
great nightlife there as well.
You have to pick a
Yeah.
demon feature as well if you're from there.
Cool.
Is it Iruvia you have to make a demon feature from? I thought that was the really
No,
far away places.
That was the Thai one, wrong one.
Yeah. If you're from
Okay.
Tykeros, which is really far away, there's talk of basically they breed with demons,
Oh,
and all of them look really weird as a result.
racist.
Just
So I need to assign an action dot,
yeah.
which
So if
I'm
you
very
look at
keen
like
to do.
next to the special abilities, you'll see there's like the insight, prowess, and resolve. So you already have 2 in attune and 1 in study, which makes you really good at asking ghost questions and like doing the horror movie. I go to the library and do all the research. No ability can have more than 2 dots to start with, and you can put those 2 dots wherever you damn well please. If you need a description of what the abilities do, on that.
So I'm
character
looking.
creation page,
Am I right to look in prowess, resolve, and wits? Is that what we're talking about?
yeah, under prowess, resolve, and
Cool.
wits, there's so insight has hunt, study, survey, and tinker. Then prowess is finesse, prowl, skirmish, and wreck. The resolve has attune, command, consort, and sway. Those are
Okay.
your. So you can pick 2 of those skills to be good at, basically.
Let's choose observe and sway with no idea what they do, but they sound cool.
Sway is sway someone with charm, logic, deception, disguise, or bluff. Change attitudes of behavior with manipulation or seduction.
That sounds like me.
And observe. I can't see observe.
Well, that's ironic.
Wait. The hell? Why is observe still there? If it's this is the issue with playing quick start versions.
Observe's not a thing, I don't think.
Oh yeah, you may be looking at the older set of rules.
Maybe I am.
If you pop out the latest one that I just put in the chat.
I'll just pop it out.
Yeah, but so I think
Whip it out.
Yeah, just whip it out. It's cool.
survey would be the same sort of ability, which if you want that, that's cool. But do bear in mind that Zamira is already has a dot in that. If you wanted something else.
Okay. Well then, let me quickly look at these new ones.
So sway is persuade.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have one in sway,
Okay.
and I'll put one into consort.
Cool. It's basically I'm really good at getting favors out of my friends.
Yeah.
Cool. And then you get to pick kind of what you did before you joined this crew of scoundrels. So a background, and then you get another action dot based on that. So the kind of rough areas are academic, labor, law, trade, military, noble, and underworld.
Noble.
Noble, okay.
Yes.
So
What can I say?
What made you leave the noble life and become a creepy cultist?
Well, I was thrown out from being a noble because they found out that I was a creepy cultist, and I was doing some bad stuff.
So you're just refused entry back into the fancy places these days.
Pretty much, I was shunned after I.
Cut off from the family inheritance, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that kind of.
Although it does give us a good
Shebang.
place to put the crew's lair.
Yeah.
If you still have a house from your noble
Yeah.
days. Cool. Okay. So yeah, you get to pick a skill. You get to assign another action dot based upon your kind of noble heritage.
Oh, I say.
So you could be even better at swaying people because you know the soothing platitudes and such.
Yes, I would like a soothing platitude.
Okay.
Uh,
So would you like to hop sway up to 2?
yeah, let's.
So you are kind of the party face currently, weirdly.
Yeah.
I innately have.
You and the slide are both really good, like at chatting to people, and then you've got
Nice.
the creepy lizard and
As it should
the
be.
lady with the pterodactyl.
Don't worry,
Thank you.
guys. Will and I got this.
We got this, boys. Don't worry, Sith Master. Thank you for following my friend. Welcome to the adventure. Yes. Me
Okay.
and Miff, we got this down. We know what we're doing.
Okay.
He says.
So the items carried thing, we're not going to get too much into because it just takes
Yeah,
time.
fun, man.
Basically, the idea is back in your lair, you have all of the things listed there.
Cool.
You can take some combination of them onto heists with you. So the idea is that those light, normal, and heavy sections there will kind of show if you're only carrying up to a light amount of stuff, you look like a normal, average, everyday person. If you're carrying a normal amount of stuff, you look like, okay, this person is ready for self-defense or is professional at something.
Okay.
If you're carrying a bunch of bottles and things, it's obvious that you're carrying this stuff. If you say, okay, it's all blades and pistols and armor, it's like
Yeah,
they're looking for trouble. And then finally, heavy is like you're up, geared for bear.
I gotcha. Cool.
And yes, the last thing you have to do is in the Deadly Friends box.
Oh my lord.
One of you know all these people, or to some greater or lesser degree, but one of them is your really good friend, like that you've known for a really long time and you're good friends with, and the another one is an old friend turned rival.
Okay. Deadly Friends. Okay.
You kind of get the interesting ones of you can be friends with ghosts, vampires, demons, witches, and spirit traffickers.
I will go with my deadly friend is Flint, a spirit trafficker,
Cool.
because why not?
Yeah.
And I guess my rival would be Skurlock, a vampire.
Cool.
What's that, Parkin? James looks weird. Yeah, he's changed. James has changed, hasn't he? He's turned into Finbar. You guys actually look really, really similar. That's weird.
You do. That's funny. What happened to
What the hell?
I'll take it. Cool. All right, and the last thing is you need a vice.
I do. I
So
need
there's the
some
little
vices and
list of them
virtues.
up on the underneath the heritage section of your
Heritage.
and also a name. A
Scottish.
name is handy.
That's the heritage.
Kind of like gambling. Is gambling one? I'm not looking.
Yeah,
in the
gambling
right place,
is one.
But I will just.
If you fritter away all your money on dice and cards,
Yeah, probably one of the reasons I'm not so noble.
fair enough.
Because
Yeah, this creepy cultist who spends all his time in gambling halls probably would get cut off from the family fortune pretty fast. Cool.
nice.
Alrighty then. That is your guy. Last thing you need to do is like a name and kind of the way they look.
Okay.
There's a big long list of like defaults you can take for this.
So that's on 22.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
Um,
I'll
That's
work
all I
on that
have,
whilst.
page 22 in my
We'll
character.
whip up
Yeah.
towards
Whip it up.
Lurk, I believe.
Nope, slide.
Oh, slide. Sorry, slide.
That's right.
I always get those two mixed up. That's just me. Okay, cool. So, chord, right and slide. So the subtle manipulator and spy. So
right.
which special ability have you chosen?
I think orator.
Okay.
When you manipulate or deceive a group of people, you never suffer effective reduction due to scale. Not
Cool.
sure what any of that means, but it sounds
So
like something
essentially,
I do.
every time you roll dice, the idea is depending on how many dots you have. So if you rolled sway, you have 2 dots in that. You would roll 2d6.
Is there swag?
There's sway, but I mean you can do it with swag if you so desire.
Got
But
it.
yeah, you roll the 2 dice. There are other ways to modify how many dice you roll. We'll get into those later. But you roll the 2 dice. We take your best result, and then depending on what you roll, you get a certain level of effect. Then other things can affect that level. Like you could be speaking to friends, in which case it would be more potent than if you were speaking to strangers. You could be and if you're like trying to sway a massive crowd, it's harder due to scale size than say if you were just talking to one person.
Okay.
But as an orator, you know you
I can
have
speak
the
to
gift
crowds.
of speech making, so you
Yes.
can
We
sway.
got the guy from Knight's Tale.
Exactly.
Oh my god, yeah.
Okay, so the next thing is you need to put 2 dots in your skills.
Wait, what is just a second? Subterfuge says you get a special armor versus persuasion or deception when I roll a critical.
If you take subterfuge, you do. I don't believe.
Yeah. I was just looking to see what.
Oh,
I
and that
don't really
means
know what
essentially
these
you can
things are.
kind of expend that. Like, I would tell you, okay, they lied to you, or and you can expend this to
Yeah, I'll do orator, and I'll be kind of like the flashy thing for the Men in Black. I'm pretty much
Cool.
that thing. How do you guys saw nothing?
Alrighty then.
That window that blew up didn't happen. All right.
Okay, so you have 2 points to assign in your abilities.
Which is insight, prowess, and resolve.
So it's the ones under those: hunt, study, survey, tinker, finesse, prowl, skirmish, wreck, attune, command, consort, sway. None can go above 2 though, so you can't bring sway up to 3 dice. I'm
Okay.
afraid.
What's tinker? Tinker is obviously gadgets and things.
So there's tinker with mechanisms to create, modify, disable or repair, disable a trap, pick a lock, or crack a safe.
Finesse
safe.
and
Isn't
Which
bad. I was going to say tinker has a lot in it that's quite useful.
oh yeah. All right, I'll take tinker and I'll take what's finesse?
Finesse is sleight of hand. Finesse an item from someone's pocket, employ subtle misdirection or sleight of hand,
Yep.
handle a vehicle or mount.
Yep, I'll do finesse and tinker.
Okay. So, what did your slide do before they were this? Were they a military spy? Were they another noble who's kind of descended alongside his creepy cult friend?
Is there a list of these things?
Yeah, so
That's
background
person.
is kind of, if you look under there's the name, alias, look, and there's heritage and
Okay, so it's
background.
under 22.
No, it's actually just on the playbook page. If you look over to the
slide.
left, underneath where it says Blaze in the Dark, you've got,
Heritage, got it.
yeah, so heritage and background.
Yeah,
Background.
so he's from the Dagger Isles, thought of that. Kind of like noble.
So we've got these 2 disgraced nobles and these 2 like weird people you associate with, and you've all come together to make this thing happen. Okay,
maybe he'll do trade.
Beautiful band that we form.
I would
So
say
you-
the reputation of our gang would definitely be strange.
Yeah.
I'd have thought.
No, maybe I'll do trade, and I'll kind
Okay.
of be like the link between both of these parties. I'll be like, well, I know this guy who actually was once a blah 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 blah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you get another dot based off of trade. So you were like
Okay.
a merchant, or like maybe with your like fast talking, you're an auction house, an ex-auction house runner or something.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, he's
Okay.
an auctioneer.
So you get to assign 1 extra point. So you could have another one in Tinker, Consort, or Finesse, or you can pick something else entirely.
I'm gonna do a one more in finesse.
Okay. So right, that's cool. Yes.
Actually, yeah, he'll do one more in finesse.
Okay. So again, same thing with the items carried. Back in your lair, you have all of the things that are on the playbook. It's just up to you what you take with you on each heist. So once again, you need to pick a friend and a rival
And this is
from
on
those
the playbook?
lists. Yeah, so
Is it in the playbook
underneath
list?
all the special abilities, there's the Deadly Friends section.
Deadly Friends. Okay, cool. That's cool.
Oh wow,
Harker, the jailbird.
is he your friend?
Yeah, he is my friend. Yeah, he was.
Okay.
He used to be a good. Wait. Harker, the jailbird, is actually my enemy. Liza, the tavern owner, is my friend.
Cool. Why is that the tavern owner? Cool.
Wait, flip that. I'm not allowed in that tavern.
Okay,
Harker's my friend. I like that.
got it. And when you really need to know how to break in or out of a place, you've got a guy who can literally get out of jail to give you advice.
But he chooses not to. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay. And then finally, yeah, you need a vice. Vice.
Isolation. He hates people and he hates the mass of humanity, so he just likes to just escape and keep his brain.
So you've got this amazing social manipulator whose just thing is
Yeah,
that
he just hates
like
people. He
run
does it
to
just
the
'cause it's
hills.
so easy.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh my god, you're all awful. I love
Yeah,
it.
you're all stupid. I hate you. I need time for myself. It's pretty much
Fantastic.
where his money goes.
That makes sense. You just buy like food and a tent and you just wander on. Well, that
Mhm.
might not be
That
ideal.
or just like I need a ticket somewhere else
Cool.
for like a week or something. But yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I like it. Right. So, do you have a name for your slide yet?
Arlo Colburn.
Arlo Colburn.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And Will, does your
Yes,
Whisper her name,
indeed. My name is Caro Dunville. Pleasure to
Caro-
meet you.
Dunville?
Lovely.
What's the name of your pirate character?
Your name is Sutcliffe Marlowe.
All right.
Slightly different rasp.
Okay.
Just slightly different.
So the last thing we need to do for the character creation stuff is we need to design the crew that you guys are. So the four
Crew.
of you have come together through somehow. Does anyone have a good idea of how the disgraced noble, the ex-auctioneer, the poison spitting like escaped experiments, and the hired contract killer have all gathered?
Yeah, a regular at the auction used to show up a lot and he used to buy a lot of the stuff. And he is probably Will's character. This is all just my spitballing.
Yes, of course, I do love the antiques roadshows.
Yeah, you're,
This
you're
looks
into your
like
weird-
it's worth 500 quid.
Yes, I'll
and,
spend all of it, thank you, sir. I'll take them all. Just buying these spoons.
Well, you're into the occult stuff, so you just
I
buy
am.
things in the
I
hope
do.
that, you gamble on it. It's like, well, it looks kind of weird and occultish, so I'll
I
just
like
spend
it.
all my money on it.
Thank you, Meg loves games a lot. Welcome.
Meg does love the games. And then, so that's probably how I know Will. And maybe I know, maybe I know Chip because maybe I auctioneered her dragon pet.
Oh, so what? Like a backroom deal went on in the auction.
Yeah,
this-
I'm like, hey, I got this weird thing, this weird egg. And
this
she's like,
pet
I'll
that will
take it.
not sell, and she's like, give it to me.
Yeah, she's like, I'll take it. It's
Even
it's a
even
weird
though
rock.
even I won't buy it.
Yeah, and then so when you wanted to
Fuck
move
that.
into the illegal trade, you got in touch with your ex creepy friend with the gun.
Yeah,
And then
that makes sense to me at least.
okay.
I probably don't know the lizard guy.
Yeah, I guess the lizard guy either would come in through some kind of weird channel to meet the Whisper, or possibly a criminal smuggling in thing. So maybe it is friends with Samira and Chip. I don't know. Have you got any ideas, Joseph? Or are you just you're just squatting in the house that they've decided to use their lair, and you're like,
Who is this
I'm-
person?
I'm on the run.
That's like, I mean, you are a long ass way away from where
Mind if I stay
you
here?
would be an escaped criminal these days. Different country, no one here gives a crap, unless there's people hunting you.
Then maybe.
Yeah. So, is it just really random chance? You were just like say squatting in the lair that they wanted to use, and they were like, "Hey," and you're like,
Yeah,
Hey.
yeah, I like that. I was squatting, and then they were just like, "Yeah, it's better. You can like join us, hang around, because you
Yeah.
know, don't want to get acid spit in our faces."
"Yeah, if we try to kill you, your blood will set us on fire, and that is not a good place to be." Cool. All right. So, the crew type, unfortunately, the only one in this playbook is the thieves. In the full game, there will be things like the hawkers, who sell all manner of stuff, from drugs to fancy goods to the demonified semi-corpses of people having adverse reactions to chemicals. Again, this game's lovely. So yeah, you guys
I
are
love
thieves.
it so far, and we haven't done anything.
Yeah, you guys are thieves. You get to get, as a group, you get to pick a starting ability. So the list is, and this again is a decision all of you have got to make. So everyone steals. Each PC may raise one action rating from 0 to 1 from the following options: Prowl, Finesse, Sway, or Tinker. There's Pack Rats, which is your lair is a jumble of stolen items. When you roll to acquire an asset, you take an extra dice. That would be come in if we weren't playing a one-shot, as a kind of more campaign-based thing. Similar with the Slippery. Swarm, when you perform a group action, you do +1 effect, which basically is when the 4 of you are sneaking around together, you get better effects because you just have good teamwork as a crew.
We've got a lot of good banter.
Yeah, you know. Shadows, all of your gangs get the Shadows type for free. I believe that's a benefit of the Lurk class. Yeah, you get special armor versus consequences from detection or security. So you guys would, as a crew, all be able to like avoid one thing of being noticed by people or that kind of stuff once a session. Or well, yeah. And also, whenever you do really well at those, you get to de-stress. Second story. When you execute an infiltration or burglary, you get +1 dice to the engagement roll. The engagement roll, essentially, when you guys pick a plan, I'm going to roll a bunch of dice, and depending upon the results of those dice, things will either be going really well or really badly. The more dice you have, the better chance you have of getting something good. Hard cases, when you execute a robbery or a shakedown, you get +1 dice to the engagement roll. So, second story is the more stealthy one. Hard cases is the more we're going to punch things in the face one. And finally, Ghost Echoes. From weird experience or occult ritual, all crew members gain the ability to see and interact with the ghostly objects, structures, and passages that exist across Duskwall.
What are you thinking, guys?
I would vote Ghost Echoes because we
I
could
was-
have bonded over like some weird
Yeah.
occult ritual. It kind
Yeah,
of fits
yeah.
our characters.
We did some stuff that one night, and then
Yeah, that one
and
night
then
night
we're a
just-
crew.
Who
One
invited
night
this
we don't
lizard?
talk
He's
about.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Man, I love this lizard guy.
Yeah, he can stick around.
Yeah, we gotta get this
Hang
guy
with us, man.
around.
Oh dear.
All right, maybe that's how we know him too. We
Yeah,
all,
he
all
basically
weird
kind of
and-
rocked up and it was like, did we kill him? And he was like, I found booze.
Yeah,
Had a
I
great
brought
party.
beer.
I
The next day
like
having, like,
I like this guy.
I like the
Guys?
idea that we had the thieving version of guys. We should totally buy a bar.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we should do that. Let's make a gang.
Okay.
We should hang out. Do you want to be friends?
Let's do it. We're friends. I don't know you. Let's be friends.
So your crew, special ability Ghost Echoes, so you can see all kinds of crazy ghost stuff everywhere.
You don't mind if I invite somebody to my seance? Who's this dude?
just want to bring a friend here. He's a bit odd. Don't mind him.
Don't get too close to that cut in his hand. It will set your skin on fire. Okay, you now get to choose your reputation. So you can be ambitious, brutal, daring, honourable, professional, savvy, subtle, or strange.
Sorry. Savvy.
I don't feel particularly savvy myself.
I would say strange. We seem a strange bunch.
We seem
Yeah,
a
we
little
seem
bit
like
odd
a
lot.
strange bunch.
Yeah. You're
I
gonna
don't know what you're
execute those
talking about.
robberies that no one can explain, where like you just walked through a ghost portal into the safe itself and
It
took the
happened.
stuff. Then leave like your calling card or something.
Just
Cool.
as well, it was a very big safe.
Hopefully,
Yeah,
yeah.
but-
Well,
Let's think of
so-
Joker. That's original.
So you get to do 2 crew upgrades. So if you're all on page 31, 31. So you can take things like, you can have, there's fine building plans, fine rooftop roofs, elite shadows, prison escape methods, safe houses, or thief rigging. I'm not entirely sure whether those are items you actually have or what. They're weird. You can give your layer bonus stuff. So by default, it is hidden. No one really knows where you guys operate out of mainly. But you could add carriage houses, boat houses, quarters of places for people to stay. You can make it secure by giving it like either security or lots of locks or whatever. It could have a vault to store lots of money, or it can have like a tinkerer's workshop in it. You can get fancy items, lots of weapons, lots of tools, supplies, or you can get gangs and experts. So gangs, there's a list of them that you can have adepts, killers, rooks, who are like con artists, rovers, which are basically lots of sailors and those kind of geese,
Range,
shadows, and thugs. And you can have just a group of them, well, potentially 2 groups of them.
We could have like a range of rovers.
What do you mean, sorry?
We could have a range of rovers.
Makes sense as like his contacts. Yeah.
You're the worst.
Finbar's
You're the
face
worst.
when he realizes I'm fucking with him.
And then the last thing is you can have experts. So the list are Dowler, an explorer, La Rose, a blue coat. The blue coat's the police. So you could have a policeman on your payroll to start
Oh,
with.
yeah. That sounds cool.
Nice, I
Amancio
like
is a
that.
broker. Fitz is a collector. Adelaide Freud is a noble. And then finally Rigney is another tavern owner. So yeah. You guys get to pick 2 of these things.
Okay. What are you guys feeling?
I feel like the policeman.
I like the policeman one.
Okay.
Me
I
too.
think that'd be cool. Because like, if I had some wealth before, I'd probably have like the funds to,
Keep
at
at
one
least-
point get a guy on.
Yeah.
Maybe I probably don't now. I probably spent it all gambling, but at one point I probably.
Yeah, like you maybe were drinking buddy. Like he's kind of almost a friend / hired help.
Yeah.
You keep him when he has something to say. You give him some money, that kind of deal. Cool. Expert La Rose, the blue coat. Cool. So you've already got the police in your pocket, and you've not even done anything yet. It's preparation, guys.
It's a good start, chaps. Good start.
And then you get a second one. So they have fancy ways to train yourselves. You can have lots of cool upgrades if you want places to store boats or carriages. You can have a gang of like shadows to go scout out your basically case joints for you, or adepts to study all the weird shit you intend to steal, or just a bunch of killers because you guys might not be great in a fight, so you just send people out to stab people you don't like.
I vote Chip decides this one. Shouldn't say much.
Why do I have to decide this one?
We've been talking this whole time.
Thanks, Glitter Sparks.
I feel like we haven't let you.
It's because I'm
have that
agreeing with like all of your guys'
Oh, we're doing great. Okay, then never mind. We're doing great.
theories. I'm
We're
not
just all-
objecting to anything.
We're just all so
So do
in
you-
sync.
We are just such a team.
We're just
guys.
so
Hey,
good.
Well, you
Alright,
took
well.
that. You're all really good team players. You got the banter as we discussed.
Yes.
So, yeah. Then does Zamira bring along with her like some thugs or some con artists from her previous time in the Red Sashes, or
Yeah, that's yeah.
okay?
Yeah. let's
So
go with
you have a small gang.
Yeah, I guess that's a really bad idea, Finbar. But okay, we're a team.
I mean, I'm not in your damn crew. I'm going to try and save you.
Thank you,
okay,
writing
so
unicorns.
what kind of like? So these it's like 4 or 5 people. What are they like? Are they adepts who are kind of nerds that you used to rely on to do the more cerebral research stuff for your jobs? Are they just a bunch of other assassins? Are they con artists and spies and socialites to scout out fancy like high value targets for you? Are they a bunch of rovers to transport everything across the city? Shadows to do what? Shadows? What typically or thugs? What do you fancy?
Thank you, Chung Clan. What do you guys think? Where do you
Where are
think
we
it-
looking on this list?
So this page would be page 30. Creating a gang.
30, got it.
Yo, Finbar, notice
Oh,
magic
sweet.
based.
Oh god. God damn it, Magic.
Notice. We got your back, Magic, don't you worry. So yeah, adepts, killers, rooks, rovers, shadows, thugs.
So much choice.
So what do we just
I don't
grab?
mind
Just
the
grab
idea of
one.
like I don't mind the idea of like adepts if they're like researching some weird shit.
Yeah, it kind of goes with your auction house as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a couple
Weirdly, it
guys.
turns out to be the most anything you ever want to do. For an
Okay.
auctioneer, I would have dealt with strange stuff.
Yeah.
So you get to choose an advantage of these guys. They can be fearsome, loyal, or tenacious. So I guess fearsome is basically you've got Dr. Frankenstein and his buddies working for you. Loyal is they can be bribed or turned against you. And tenacious is they won't sleep till they know the answer to you guys' questions.
That one feels kind of appropriate for the 24-hour stream.
Yeah, I would say tenacious.
Yeah, because we aren't going to sleep until we get answers.
Get those answers from you, Finbar. God damn it.
Yep.
And then they get a disadvantage. Are they principled? Do they have an ethical value that they won't betray? Are they savage? Do they just get really violent and drunk after they finish jobs? Or are they unreliable?
figured it out! Yeah! Let's go.
Um,
We haven't slept for days! Let's get drunk!
They figure it out and then they just start drinking the surgical spirit. Come in there, it's like,
We do
I
have
can't
a
read my own research.
He's like drooling that
That's
yellow,
what the drug addict does,
sanitation
so-
lotion.
We do
Like,
have a
oh,
drug.
this is both my blood. Oh, man.
Research. Right, own up, guys.
Or finally,
feel-
they could be unreliable and just they're not always
I
around.
like the drunk.
Yeah, I like
They're
savage.
They're savage.
It's
Savage.
Got a bunch of
absolutely
savage
savage,
nerds.
They're
boys.
all savages.
No, it's always savage, man.
They're all freshmen in college.
Yeah. Gotta
How
do
is
this
that a
research.
disability? Like, seriously, how is that a disadvantage? That's just brilliant. You'll just finish stuff and go get
La
drunk.
boys!
With them, and we're just gonna be like,
Right, boys, we're going to go down the pub now.
When they get drunk in enemy territory and tell everyone who can hear about this really cool thing we did for that other gang. All right. Last thing
Hey,
then.
guess what we did? No, guess what?
No, honestly, you'll never guess what we did.
You'll get it.
Okay. The last thing is there is a thing of context. Oh, no, wait a minute. You can. There's a thing of assigning faction status ticks, but again, it's one shot, so I'm not going to waste time on that.
Screw that.
The last thing is
Don't
the
waste
name
my
of
time.
this crew.
Oh,
What
God,
is the name of
okay,
this?
Names are hard.
We
Names
haven't.
are
Oh,
The pack.
The
The
pack?
pack.
simple but effective.
The rat pack.
It definitely brings across a point.
Are we all actually united with the pack?
I mean,
It's not the. I saw a YouTube channel pop up this week that's doing quite well called Cool Ghosts. So it's not the stupidest name I've seen.
The angry chickens.
That is a terrible Hearthstone card.
Yeah, angry chicken, man. Man, that +5 though.
let's
You
go back
gotta
to
watch
that.
out for the chicken.
The Brady Bunch, says Cleric of Cord.
Will is getting belligerent. It begins, and so it begins.
Fantastic.
I like the pack. I like angry chickens. I like the angry chicken pack.
Yes, combinations.
like-
I mean, if we
The
want to
combo.
smush this all together, the Furious Roosters
The
or
furious.
the Furious Flock.
The
The angry
furious
cocks.
flock.
Angry
The
cock.
angry cocks.
The angry, yes.
The angry cocks. The boys.
All right.
I can imagine that our name was formed during one of
The
those
cock pack.
drunken debauchery kind of sessions.
When
where
you're
it was
all
like-
in like a small
Think of
enclosed
a name.
space and it starts to get warm and the guy with like flammable blood starts sweating and you basically just get like a hot box almost literally going. You're all getting mild poisoning and just
Well, putting
going
water
out
on
of
it,
your
and it's like
mind.
a sauna.
we're all like, I don't want to put a name on it, man. I don't know. I don't want to label it. You know, it's just
But-
one of those. But we should call it. You know, us.
Yeah.
Angry cocks.
I like the idea that your like calling card is going to be like empty vaults with just like a like a bright red like chicken spray
It's like
paint
a
on the
mad
back
chicken.
of it.
And tons of empty bottles for when we celebrated robbing.
Yeah.
You get in there, you put all the loot through the ghost passage, draw this big chicken, and get wasted in their vault before leaving.
All of our gold is gone, but they left us these empty bottles and this note that's got an angry chicken on it.
Seems legit. And finally, yeah, so your lair. Are we living out of like some house that the noble managed to hang
Yeah,
on to?
I want to say like
Or-
my old kind of playhouse, like
my
kind of
other-
shelled out.
Okay. Okay. My other suggestion was we have an ex-auctioneer who presumably has fallen out of style. It could be his auction house,
Yeah.
alternatively.
I
But
like
I mean,
it.
that's up to you. Or there could be something completely different. You could live in the pterodactyl's roost, for all I know.
Now that's just silly, Finbar.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
How dare
Now,
you?
guys, let's talk
Yeah.
about the whale which we live inside.
You don't want to live inside a Leviathan. You do not want this for yourself.
But it would be so mobile.
So I can't hear you. It's talking.
And it would give we'd have a whale of a time living inside a Leviathan.
Oh, yeah.
I like this guy.
I like this guy. I like him a
I
lot.
like this guy.
He's gonna do well. I like him. Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna vote for like my old like manor house shelled out, which we've just like it's like a party house for like our freshers, like fresher nerds, basically that hang out there, and we've just absolutely destroyed this place. But we could have like a warehouse down the road where we like this is your old antique shop that we like go and
You know,
find.
that'd be like once you reclaim it or buy
Yeah,
it back,
yeah,
like, being repossessed, you
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
can use that as like a vault or all those fancy carriage houses, stuff like that. Okay, so the lair is Caro's old, I don't know, townhouse, I suppose. Okay. Cool. And with that, we're ready to just get going and do some things. How exciting. Cool.
So exciting.
Oh dear, right. Let me just scroll up and remind myself of a few names.
Whilst you do that, Irving Wolfman is asking what happens at 550. You guys get to make a viewer decision. There'll be a straw poll. Anything can happen whatsoever. You guys can decide. You can vote on what happens, and it just happens. So, I didn't run that past Finbar, so he's going to be
No, that's
happy to
good.
hear that.
That's
Yeah.
fine. I love reacting to random. Yeah, this is the thing. I have thought out a few like mini heists that you could go on.
Yeah.
But if you guys like go, no, I've got this really cool idea that we should do, hit me, and I will totally accommodate that.
Slap you in the face with
Love
my
it.
idea.
And we call
Okay.
that
With
basic
love.
operations and
Do you guys know about our
Animals.
follower or our donation program as well? How people can name shit?
I don't, Cord. Tell me
Okay.
more.
I'd love to tell you
What
about
a segue, boys! This is
Oh,
great.
wow. So anyway, if for those of you in chat, you can scroll down and check out our donate section. For £1, you can give a PC or enemy an extra attack or inspiration. For $3, you can even name an NPC met by the players in the game. That's always fun. £5, suggest a game module to be played in the next either 24 or 12
There's
hour
and
stream.
there's another 24-hour stream coming up soon.
There is one coming up, so there we have
That'll
got
be high.
tons of slots. We actually have 2 coming up, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have tons of slots that we need
damn.
to get filled. Hashtag Donger. We have 20. No, I did. At £10, you can be a player. Blah blah blah. You can just scroll down into the donate
Yeah, but
section.
stuff
But
like
anyway,
that.
there's a
Well,
lot of stuff you can
What's
do.
it? There's a good
Yeah.
cause to which is going to is that we want to go to Comic Con 2016.
Exactly.
We're going to get a table there. We're going to see you guys there, meet you, and like
Fly an
some
American
stuff.
over.
Fly an American over, maybe two
Maybe two.
Americans. You never know, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So without further ado, I hand Lorraine's firmly over to our good friend Finbar from MathinTV.
Alrighty then. Let's play the game. So,
That's okay with you, right?
What, that we play the
that's
game?
going
I
on?
mean, I don't know.
No, that
I'm not.
that the donation program.
I mean, I think I would struggle to do the £1 one because that's just not how the system works. But everything
that's
everything else is great with me.
Anything goes.
Chuck stuff at me, I will make it happen.
But you can,
Um,
of course, donate £1.
Yeah, I'll find something else interesting to do.
So notice you.
Yeah, if
Be the first person to figure out what we do.
if you donate £1 and give me a character's name or player's name, I will push on their vice in some way there and then. So if you tell me Chip, I will have some very attractive man or woman turn up to distract them from whatever they're supposed to be doing, or if you tell me, Will, he's going to be in the middle of something really important, and someone's going to just
cockfight going on.
and then
in the background.
cockfighting will start over in the corner, or something along those lines.
Whoa, this got 18 plus.
Yep. It's gonna get 15 inches.
17 inches. of course.
That'll be what I'll do instead of that one, because we're not playing D&D. But cool. Alrighty then. Yes, so I think we start inside the head of Arlo Colburn.
Oh, sweet.
And you're kind of like you're waking up as if like you've been out on a heavy night. Like you've got like pounding headache. It feels like basically the first night you met the leech of Waistan, and his like you feel super hungover. You're slowly like coming to, and it smells a bit weird, and then you realize that there's like some weird like scratching against your face, and suddenly this complete black covering is like ripped off, and like you're blinking in like lamplight. Kind of very disorientated, and slowly like focus up and realize you're sitting in a room just illuminated by one small flickering electric bulb. And you look around and you see on either side of the room there's a couple like heavy set dudes with like hoods up, and you see like one of them is like walking away from you and is holding a black bag essentially. You look down and realize you're like tied to a chair. You just about remember like you were drinking at a tavern, and then someone was like, well, we should go into that place. The Golden Spigot is really good bar, and you were like, wait, there's a reason I shouldn't go in the Spigot.
Hang on a minute.
And evidently it was you got talked into going into Lysa's Tavern, who has revealed your
drink.
location.
I'll have only
And
one.
yeah, like so you realize that this pounding headache isn't so much a hangover as is like a specific bruise. So you must have been like you must have been knocked out. You look down and realize your hands are tied to this chair as are your feet. As you look over, you see your three compatriots in a similar state. How you guys all came to a little bit before our friend Arlo. How are we all doing with being kidnapped, black bagged, and dragged into this dingy little room? How's everyone looking at this point? Is there lots of nerves? Is it cold, steely killer face?
It's more. Well, my character's kind of oh, for fuck's sake, like, kidnapped again.
Not again, boys.
Can't be dealing with this. Why does this keep happening?
I'm looking rather bemused. Like, oh, what's going on here, chaps? And oh, we're all here. Oh, good.
Yeah.
I feel like my character's becoming more and more Boris Johnson, which I think I'm okay with.
That's probably right.
It's fine.
So yeah, at this point, a door like at the end of this room swings open, and in walks Zamira. You recognize this is this lady is Mylera Clev. She's the leader of the Red Sashes, and she kind of walks in and goes, "Well, good to see you all. Nice to see you again, Zamira. You did run off rather fast." She kind of sits down over the side of this desk and like looks over at you all. And so this is your new crew, is it? A fine bunch you found here. And she kind of like, I think, regards each one of you individually. Yeah, the rest of you know this lady, like, she is... Mylera has a reputation. She does lead one of the largest gangs in the area you all live. And, like, she's known, like, the Red Sashes do not fuck about. They are ruthless in their pursuit of what they want to get. And they're very aggressive. They make bold, over-the-top attacks into, like, right into the heart of their the enemy gang's territories pretty regularly. And yeah, I don't really give a fuck. And Mylera is supposed to be half the reason that she's an incredibly talented, like, leader in battle, as well as a dab hand with a sword. You notice you guys do still have, like, the gear you regularly carry around with you. They obviously aren't being that threatening. They just wanted to make a point. But just briefly, you do know there is an open war in the streets going on between the Red Sashes and the Lamp Blacks, another gang. And there's kind of a bit of a thing in the criminal underworld of you're with them or you're against them. And there's not really much in the middle. In fact, there's no in the middle. So keep that in mind. So yeah, Mylera kind of like regards, I think, looks at Zamira and goes, "Now, I understand that you paid your dues to get out from our employment. It hurts me that you would leave our little family, Samira. Truly, truly it hurts me. But we've discovered that your little group apparently has an interest in, well, you can get places. You can acquire things that other people aren't necessarily in a position to do. So, I'm here to offer you a job. This whole you'll have to forgive me, I have a flair for the dramatic, and I like to make my point nice and clear. Have you ever heard of Captain Narcus Darville? Which kind of addresses the four of you.
Yes, of course. Captain Narvis Darville. Yes, well, have I introduced myself, my lady? Might have heard of me, of Caro Dunville. I put a sweaty palm
sort of
out.
Lift a hand while still tied to the armrest.
Yeah. I should say I'm quite fat as well. I'm quite a fat, sweaty man.
A chubby cat burglar.
Yeah, pretty much.
Good. Yeah.
Or a
You
cow,
can't fit
more
through
a
that
cow
hole.
burglar.
How do I get in through that vent?
She kind of leans back and like lifts an eyebrow. Yes. Well, I'm sure you're aware then he's in charge of the local detachment of bluecoats. And in very recent times, he's become nigh on impossible to bribe. And that is a big problem for men and women in my sort of work. As I'm sure you'd be all very aware.
Well, Steph is nice to be avoided.
Exactly, dear. It's come to our attention, however, that the Lampblacks seem to still have him in their pocket. Lampblack operations are going by completely unharassed by the Bluecoats, yet mine are getting shut down left, right, and centre. A few of my agents seem to think that he is being blackmailed in some way on a more personal level than usual, as opposed to just with coin and girls. So, I need you, as people who aren't going to get lynched the instant they walk into Lampblack territory, to find how they're blackmailing the dear captain, take it from them, and then bring it back to me. And of course, you'll be handsomely rewarded for such a job.
Well, it doesn't look like we're in a position to negotiate too much.
Well, I'm glad that you've got at least one intelligent person on the team.
What can I say, my lady? Thank you, of course.
Yeah, Zamira, sorry. Zamira, she like looks at you again and goes, I think you get that thing of like, really? These people? And she goes to stand, walks over and like lifts Wystan's like chin and like looks at his creepy ass fucking skin. It's like, wow, now that is something. You really are quite grotesque. Ugh. She like wipes her hand on one of her heavies nearby and goes, well, those ropes aren't too tight. You should be out in a few hours. You might have even sobered up by then. I will be awaiting you in the usual base. Zamira knows the way. And ta-ta! And she kind of strolls out and her heavies follow them out afterwards. I think one of them just kind of reaches up and pulls the little cord that turns off the light bulb as they do. Mm-hmm. And you get I think just like, that's for stealing that last bottle of whiskey, Zamira, you bitch. And then close the door and walks off. Yeah, so the four of you are alone in this little warehouse, and as they said, these ropes aren't particularly like gonna hold you forever. It's gonna be unpleasant getting out of them.
Yeah.
And it will take some time. But yeah, what's the unless you've got some fancy way.
Can I quickly ask you? Sorry, mate. Go ahead, Dre.
No, you go.
I was going to quickly ask just a few questions. If you guys could write your names in a roll 20 so I can put your tags down, because I can't remember exactly. I know Zamira, but I don't remember. Yeah, appreciate it. And secondly, Ingeborg asks if she can't do the attacks thing, what would be the alternative for that?
So I'll poke at their like vices, I suppose. So for each character has a vice, and these obviously are things that motivate them as characters. For instance, what's the name of the Whisperer? Caro is a compulsive gambler. So in the middle of a job, if there's a card game going on, I can just be like, and
Yeah.
get them into
Okay.
trouble as a result of that. I suppose that's the way we just make things a little more tense and dangerous on rolls down the line when certain parts of the plan don't go off as well
Okay.
because they get distracted by pretty girls or card
Is there
games or
a way we can make it in our favor, in the hero's favor?
So if she wanted to give Chip
in the-
an advantage,
if you want to give Chip the
is
advantage.
what she said.
Of some sort. Is that what she said?
Yeah, a
That's fine.
particular whisper.
That's I will. I can add like either better effect levels or
Just do something.
yeah.
with
I
yours
can
and
raise
we'll-
like how effective a roll is, or I can give you extra dice in a roll. Just like you get 1 dice extra to roll in this attempt because you're the chatter with you.
Yeah.
So when you get your very dramatic roll, if you guys want to if you want to pick a person to let's do that one. If you
Yeah.
you pick a player and give them a dice that they can use 1 time to raise 1 roll up once.
Cool.
I guess it can
Wait,
still be inspiration because it's a similar way to how it works.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work for enemies at all.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cool.
Perfect.
It's kind of like inspiration.
Yeah. So Joe, what were you going to say, mate?
I was gonna say, can I spit on my arm so it burns the rope?
Um,
Oh my god.
Throw up on him.
I mean, are you immune to your own poison?
No, that's why I'm in constant pain.
Fair point. Yeah, I mean, just say you're immune to it. So yeah, you wouldn't actually damage. So yeah, you can just kind of like go and hawk a loogie onto this like section of arm where there's rope on it and set the rope on fire. Yeah.
Cool. And then I'll put my arm out, I guess. Well, undo the other thing, then put my arm
Yeah.
out while like rolling around
Pat
on
it
the floor,
down.
and then proceed to casually untie everyone else.
Okay. Yeah. So
That's
it's
really is odd.
is there much conversation going on amongst the furious cocks?
That was disgusting, and I'm so happy to keep you around.
Thank you, Ingy, for £5 donation. 5 extra dice for Chippers because she's awesome. Heart. Thank you very much. Ingy. Awesome stuff.
Everyone loves Chip on stream. Thank you, Ingy.
Yeah. You're not bitter, Finbar. It's cool.
That's fine. I just want to hurt people. That's all
No,
I want to do.
Just want to watch
I
the world
take
burn,
this
man.
Okay. So yeah, like it does strike you all that you can do what Merlin wants, or what was it, Mylera wants, but at the same time, there's lots of ways to go about it, and you could just, if none of you particularly take well to being bullied, you could do different jobs that, like, Zamira's gonna know ways to hurt the Red Sash's, profit line and stuff like that, and also there's just, you could just ignore her and go get money if you want. But you know, you could
Well,
bribe her with that.
I think she's quite a powerful woman, this whatever her name was, Marion. So perhaps we should probably do what she says for now. What do you think, old Cox?
First of all, I think we should probably. Did she say "titar" when she left? She was
I
like,
think
"Titar."
I think she did. Yes.
That's very rude of her.
Anyway,
I
I
think
thought so very much against etiquette. I'll tell you that much.
yeah, I should have a stern talking to her.
Yes.
Wow, the kind of slinking of the lizard, like sawing through
Yeah.
ropes.
We're just like, thank you. Yeah. So it seems like we should probably do this job.
What do you two think, weird dragon girl and lizard boy?
Worst superhero team ever.
Or is it Tristan, Kristen, Wiston?
My character just kind of grunts a bit in a kind of agreeable fashion. 'cause
It's a
talking
very
hurts,
agreeable
so-
fashion for grunting.
I agree with his.
I love this in
He's a
D&D. The
grunt.
idea you can convey intense amounts of emotion or meaning with grunts and looks.
Yep.
It's great. I give you that look that means we should do this thing. It's like,
That's a very specific look you've just given me.
cool. So, Zamira,
Yeah,
How-
what
how
about
does-
Tamira? I don't think I ever learnt your name. What is it?
Zamira.
Yes. Yes. Well, you. What's your take on this?
I'm gonna throw it out there. These guys are not to be trusted. I have been under their employment. I have seen the shit that they do to people they don't like. And as much as we don't want to be on the receiving end of all of the shit that they do to people when they don't like people, if we do this job the tiniest bit wrong,
Right.
all hell is going to break loose.
Perhaps.
So if we're committed to this, we are committed to it. Because
We
should do it.
Their bad side.
But I'm in this if you all are. I think it's probably better to do it than not to do it, because she seemed quite angry, and there was something about the woman I quite liked myself.
Was it the titars?
It was something to do with the Tatars, actually, yes. I said it was disagreeable, but I actually quite enjoyed that myself.
I think we should do it.
My character looks incredibly disapproving at you after that comment.
It's just like you hear the of like poison spit being summoned. That no, okay, fine.
What are you looking at, Slither? Get me out of this.
Okay, so you guys are untied, and yeah, you're about ready. So, kind of to attempt this robbery, you're probably going to need to gather some more information about how the fuck they're blackmailing this guy. Where
What on earth are we actually doing? I usually let you lot do this and then swan in with the money and the glory. So we need to talk to our agents, don't we?
You've got so this is the kind of place you can consult, say, your crazy researcher nerds, or any of your contacts, rivals, friends, that kind of thing, that you've got in town, who may know a bit about lamp blacks. I mean, or this particular blue coat in general, for instance. For instance, you guys have as a crew, a blue coat is a friend of yours, so you could
That's
go.
true.
Yeah, so
Let's go talk with him.
check your character sheets. Look for resources you could apply to learning about weird blackmailable blue coats or the workings of a rival gang.
Do we have a name for the blue coat?
That
we have friends
blue
with?
coat contact was called
Roger.
La Rose.
Ah,
La
you're
Rose?
I'm really bad
La
at
Rose?
names.
Getting that impression.
Lorraine.
Rose.
Lorraine. No, it wasn't Lorraine. She was the one.
Ah, yes.
She was the one down. Yes. Okay.
All right, I'm going to contact La Rose. Once we leave this tavern or wherever we are.
Yeah.
You kind of extricate yourself and you find you're like on a seafront, like way down the docks. Like you come at this weird little like side of a warehouse. It was like the maybe an old break room that they just kind of chucked you in. You get the impression that if they had wanted this to go a little worse, the whole black bagging may not have ended with a job offer.
Interesting interview process, really. We'll have to look into that ourselves.
You know,
Agreed.
got to test metal.
So there's a black coat that won't be blackmail?
So the kind of thing she said was that as the captain of like the local blue coat, I guess, station, is a guy called, where did I put my notes on this one? Captain Narcus Darville or Dunville.
Yeah, I've got the
And yeah, he's like, he used to be pretty bribable. Like, you want this list of crimes or like stolen goods to go away, or you want your guy back out of prison, slip him a fairly large amount of wages, or give him a couple free nights at a local brothel, he'd make it disappear. And he's turned weirdly scrupulous to anyone who isn't the Lamp Blacks.
Okay.
So yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna go meet with him at the docks.
Okay, so yeah, your
Arlo
friend.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll come with you if you don't mind, old bean.
No, I don't mind at all.
Oh, good. Good.
So
I don't mind at all. There we go. Sorry.
so Arlo.
I don't mind at all.
I don't mind.
So Arlo and Caro are going to see La Rose. What's Weiston and Zamira doing? Are you going with them, or do you have other plans on?
I'm going to go visit my friend who's Stasia, who's the apothecary,
Right.
to see if, because obviously an apothecary would kind of be aware of all kind of
Yeah, I mean,
illicit
you're-
substances moving about kind of thing. We'd be pretty clued in people.
yeah, I
See,
think you're
just-
not knowing the nice pharmacist at the end of the road. You know, like a person who occasionally they have to cook, as it were, for someone or other.
Yeah. So go
Okay.
there and try and see if this guy has any connections to that kind of scene.
Okay.
As if he's got a drug problem, they're kind of bribing him with a supply or.
Yeah. And Zamira, what's your plan for this little information gathering?
I am going to go and Excuse
Eat a
me.
pterodactyl. Is that the plan?
Not actually.
Fuck this.
Wait, I am going to go and talk to my friend Valeris, who is a spy and a friend who followed me from a life of crime.
Into a different one.
A different life of crime, into a slightly less deadly life of crime. So I'm going to go and ask her to see if she can,
Okay.
spy on them a little bit, see what's going on, see what their general habits are, if there's any better ways we can get in or out, things
Okay.
like that.
Okay, so let's start with the two social the ex-auctioneer and the ex-noble going to see a corrupt policeman.
Average Tuesday night.
Yeah,
Just another day with my friends.
pretty standard. So yeah, you guys so you kind of have to go into the nicer parts of like this district where the police station basically. So like, do you guys carry obvious weapons, or is it just like, how do you guys kind of present yourself to the world when
I
you
don't
just
even know
want
what my weapons are. How do
So
we know- Yeah.
if you look at your character sheet, your playbook, underneath the special abilities, there's a bunch of items specific to your class, and then just to the right of that, there's a bunch of other items.
Oh yeah, I
You
get a sword
technically
cake.
own all of this stuff back at your lair, but it's up to you what you kind of carry around with you.
Mine's
So
in
if
a
you-
cane.
Yeah, obviously,
I was
I
gonna have a
assume
cane.
you affect a limp to get away with a cane. Because, yes, why would you not do that?
Let's get limp like an old school pimp.
Yeah.
Cane sword.
But yeah, like, are you wandering around, like, dressed as a kind of man about town socialite with not very much on you, or do you kind of
No,
go...
he's just a like a middle-aged man, maybe a little younger than middle-aged, but yeah, he just happens to have a cane and he happens to have a limp.
Okay. So you walk around with quite
probably
not very much
wounded.
stuff. What about
Not
the
much.
weirdo, the Whisper? Do you have like
yeah.
obvious tools of your? Because Whisper is like an accepted thing of like people.
Yeah, I probably
Yeah,
have like my kind of like voodoo sort of tools on my like tucked away in some like old kind of ex-noble's robe, which has been used so
Yeah.
much that it's muddy and
Okay.
bad. It's not looking too
Yeah.
good. It's in better days, but
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got like some like basically like utility belt filled with random arcane junk. And then maybe like this spirit anchor thing is basically like you can bind a ghost to it, or like in place with it, just so you're aware. And the spirit mask is like, it's a weird freaky mask that lets you see the ghost world more clearly.
gotcha.
Although all of you guys, as a result of some kind of strange concoction of the weird poisonous blood and the creepy weirdo you're all friends with, and excessive amounts of liver punishing, have all been noticing that as you walk along these days, you see like after images of buildings that weren't there or that aren't there, or people fading in and out as you walk along the street and stuff like that. It's not very common for the people thing, because ghosts aren't allowed. Like, everybody is supposed to get burnt very, very quickly, and it takes a lot of. It's quite difficult to get to keep a body from being destroyed utterly, because when it doesn't, you get bad things like vampires and demons and horrible wailing spirits attempting to possess people and destroy the city.
Sounds like my ex.
Hey-o.
Cool. So yeah, you guys like stroll over to the the kind of district center, the little town hall area, and the police station. And yeah, like, do you guys like send word ahead, or do you just stroll into like kind of reception and go, yeah, we're here to see you?
We swagger in. Hello, darling. How are you today?
Throw
Looking
the door open.
absolutely lovely.
So yeah, there's like a person like sitting at the front desk, like managing like civilian complaints stuff, and looks up at you two.
Oh, it's Greg. Sorry, I thought you would be Carol. My mistake.
It's like, hello, is that
We're looking for LaRose.
Yeah, Lorraine. Oh, LaRose, yes.
LaRose,
the Rose?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, Lorraine.
Don't mind my friend.
Is there anything you'd like? Do you have a specific meeting with her?
Just a normal
Calling
call
about crime?
checkup.
A tea would be very nice, thank you, Greg. And no milk, 2 sugars.
And two faces of the party just
But I-
start bantering at the same time.
Yeah, he kind of like looks a little confused and goes, "I'll be right back." And then yeah, so thinking about 10 minutes, LaRose walks downstairs and goes, like looks across this like, "You two, what did you do to Corporal Greg? Why is he so freaked out?"
I believe we looked at him.
Well, that would explain a lot.
Yes.
That would explain a lot, Caro. You are quite.
Oh, you
right.
mean the guy that was just here?
Indeed, Arlo.
No idea. I mean, did he get us the tea? Because he wanted.
Yeah, I think you see like him like walking down the steps nearby, like shaking, carrying this tea tray, and he kind of looks at you like,
Great. Where's mine?
yeah. It's like, yeah, put hands over like 2 small mugs.
Hey, you, Greg.
Thanks.
I think yeah, LaRose walks
Yes,
up. She
I'll
kind
have
of
another one, thank you.
she walks the two of you. She's like, so I take it you
Thanks.
two want something? Am I
This is
not
great
being
captain.
am I not being treated to lunch or some such for it?
Well, of course, we'll be going to dinner.
No, you're treated to tea. Greg, more tea, please.
Okay, more tea. Thank you, Greg. Thank you. Very nice.
Actually, this point she just is like, we should have this discussion elsewhere instead of in the Blue Coat station. Maybe.
Well, as always, my place.
This is fine. No one's
Not
around. Greg,
in
it's
a
getting
month
tea.
of Santa's Cara. Yeah, so I think she is hustling you out the door because she doesn't want to have a discussion with criminals in the middle of a Blue Coat station. Greg is
I
like,
think you're fine.
yeah. So what do you guys do? Do you wander over to
You
a
have
nearby bar?
To-go cups for these teas, Greg? Because we're going to be with them. Take a walk.
He's like,
I'll just take the whole pot. I'll take the whole pot. Thank you, Greg.
you just lift the teapot and just wander off. He's like,
Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you.
yeah.
Bring it in.
Okay, you wander to a nearby bar and like acquire 3 cups
Bring
from
our
there
own
and start
tea
pouring
to a
out your
bar.
stolen tea. Like a nearby, like it's kind of hard. It's a bar, but it's like not quite drinking hours yet. It's still nighttime because this world doesn't have a sun, really. It is always nighttime here.
The night time of the day.
So it's London.
More or less. But yeah, so
London Central Club.
you get kind of like pre-dawn is like the brightest it gets. So yeah, you set yourselves up in like a
Teas,
place that's a little
pre-dawn.
quiet, like procure 3 glasses and start sipping tea. And Laura's kind of looking at you like, you. So, what do you want?
Tell us about Darville.
Yes, tell us about Danville. Him.
Darville.
David, yes. What?
Name's Gara.
Where's Greg?
I forgot how exhausting you two were. She kind of sips.
Together we're exhausting, but one of us we're a
One-
headache. So just it's up to you. It's a
One
person,
on
really.
one, I'll be exhausted.
Again, never happened, Karen. She takes a sip and goes, "What do you want to know? He's the captain of the local department. He's
But what we gather is he's
a
not.
bit of a scumbag by and large, but yeah."
Well, yeah, but what I feel like other scumbags are trying to out scumbag him, and he won't budge into this scumbagging. So, do you have any idea what's going on with that?
She kind of raised an eyebrow. Do either of you have consort? Unless you're like trying.
I do, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Consort would
Sorry.
probably apply here. As there's 2 of you,
Yes.
you can actually do this as a team.
Sweet.
So as you're doing it as a team, I have to ask which of you is like leading the charge. Which one of you is kind of the in charge of it, and which one of you is?
Yeah, you're probably leading the charge on this one. I'm like,
You're just going, maybe as you're
Here's
just
what he said.
nodding to your cup of tea.
You're talking like nonsense that's disarming and putting her off the fact that you're basically interrogating her about how is your boss blackmailable.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay, yeah. So what we do here is, so what are your consort skill ratings? Just
One dot.
you have 1 dot. How much do you have?
I got a 1 dot.
Okay, cool. So here's how this works.
It's 2 dots together if you add them.
That is actually how it works.
Together,
Yes.
we are so much stronger.
So, the way this works is you get you roll a dice for each dot. You can push yourselves and take stress. So if you take 2 stress, you get an extra dice. The person assisting, in this case, Caro, can give you an assistance dice by taking another 1 stress. And finally, I can offer you a devil's bargain, of which any one of us can suggest the bargain.
Ooh.
Basically, these things always happen, regardless of whether you succeed or fail, but get you an extra dice. There can be things like you have to reveal a secret in exchange, or make a dangerous promise, or kind of you tip people off that you're coming for them, but you get a chance of getting better information.
So this would be a time for a viewer to donate inspiration.
Yeah, that actually, if viewers want to offer good devil's bargains, you can try and...
That's cool. All right.
So yeah.
So what do I roll?
So currently, you guys would roll 1 dice each.
What is
Then-
the dice?
just 1d6 each. Sorry,
D6.
1d6.
Okay.
Okay.
And then if you want to stress yourselves out and kind of push a little harder, try like really hard to get this information out of her, then you can push yourself. Alternatively, oh, I think we've already had a roll though.
I rolled a 4.
Had one roll, and I
Okay.
rolled a. Still rolling.
I don't want to stress myself out about this. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not gonna stress myself. Do you guys see anything?
Not yet.
It says rolling dice.
Yeah, mine took ages to roll.
And there's
That's the
2.
longest roll.
Okay. So,
You really winded that one up.
Yep, for the worst roll.
Devil's bargain, so 40% of your soul, dumb old dog.
That sounds good.
Yes,
That's
why
a great-
not?
that's a great-
Only 40% after all.
okay. So, Arlo, you take 1 stress because you
Oh.
were quite shit at this today. Apparently, you're actually not as good at this as you think you are. However, we
I
take
need
the
to
best.
leave.
We take the
Just
best
walk
result
out.
of the group, which is the 4, which I believe gets you. So there's a thing in this game called position. Every time you make a roll, you are in either a dominant, a daring, or a desperate position.
Sometimes all three.
Yeah, so dominant is when you have a good advantage over the situation, friendly territory, or with people you know, or that kind of stuff. Daring is when you're, like, say, up against an equal opponent, or there's an element of risk involved, and finally, desperate is when things are bad, the shit has hit the fan, and you are trying desperately not to get covered. So I would say this is probably just a fairly dominant position. Like, you're chatting to a person who's kind of on your payroll. There's nothing too bad going on. I would do, but the things about this is like rolling desperate actions gets you XP, so you quite often want to stack the odds against yourself in this game. So on a 4 to 5, you and these decisions were made by Arlo because he was the one on point. So you do
Absolutely
it,
on
but there's a
point.
consequence. It takes extra time. You have reduced effect. You suffer lesser harm, or you end up in a daring position. Lesser harm doesn't really make sense for chatting in a bar. So you can either
End
spend
up
like
in a daring position.
okay. This is basically a re-roll
That is rather
at
daring.
a chance with having much worse things happen.
Never thought you could do that before.
Great. Sounds
Okay.
like a party. And another D6.
Yeah. So do around again. You can stress yourself, or you can, if we have good ideas for Devil's Bargain, we can make one of those to get you an extra dice. Or you can ask, Caro to pitch in and get a little stressed out.
You want a picture? Okay, we'll get a picture. Right.
A pitcher of tea.
Yes, please.
Your lightest beer, put some tea bags in it.
Thank you, Greg.
Yeah, I was just gonna roll, and then I take another stress. So I have
You don't take another stress yet. We'll
Oh,
see
okay, good.
what happens with that. So you rolled a 4. Caro, roll as well, please.
All right, Len.
You just
Yeah, well,
So you always take the
that's-
highest results, but you basically if anyone rolls for each 1 to 3 rolled by a player, you take a stress. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Each player who has a 1 to 3 in their results.
I rolled a 4 again. Hey.
Okay, so you get a 4, so we take the 4 again.
means 8, right?
Yeah, totally. So this is so you kind of get a bit out of her, and you understand that there's some that this guy he's a bit of an odd character, and then he's just kind of got much more reserved lately. Like he's a big, brash, swaggering dick in the office, and he's regularly is deeply misogynistic to his assorted female employees, that kind of thing. And
That's to be
in the last
expected.
2 weeks, which correlates in your heads to how long he's been unbribable for, he's been much better behaved. He's not been doing any of that.
So what you're saying is he's met someone.
He's got a. Okay, I totally picked up your voice then. He's got a woman. That's what I say.
Okay.
Exactly, he's got a girl.
Yes, yes,
Or
a woman
Or a
girl.
man.
Or
Yes,
a
I
man.
think with this one
Or
you
a dog.
find out
Or
Could be a
dog.
dog. Could be a dog. That's Tamira. She's quite crazy, and she's basically got a dog. But
which
Try not speaking for a while,
Scales.
Karen.
right, yes. I keep on drinking.
yeah. So I think you make some headway. You learn a few new things about that he's places he used to certain brothels and stuff he frequents in the town. You hear he was meeting with some. She was like, I didn't know the guy exactly is an agent of the Lampblacks. I can find you his wanted poster in a minute. Yeah. I'm gonna say because of the consequence of this one is a complication occurs. So, yeah, she goes off to find you this wanted poster for the lamp black agent she saw.
But they're all out of paper. God damn.
No. The complication is that one of the moles of the people you're going to rob notices that she's doing this and is kind of now they're a bit more aware of your coming. So the difficulty of this heist has increased because you guys were a bit obvious. Yeah.
Don't know what you're talking about, obvious, right?
That's how I'm going to play this for now.
Cool.
Cool.
Okay, so yeah, you get this this wanted poster for a lamp black member called Orlan Miller. So Orlan Miller, the lamp black, has been meeting with the captain.
Is that
Yeah,
a
and I
lady
think
name?
so Caro, you recognize like Orlan Miller is like another guy kind of in your sort of field of the occult. Under the payroll of the lamp blacks, so you not really have spoken to him much, but he's kind of an occult-esque person, so I don't know, take that as you will. But that's information you've learned. So you can try and hunt him down and see what's going on with him. Next, we'll cut over to, on my little sheet, I guess we'll cut over to our dear friend Weistam. Seeing your apothecary buddy. So maybe like you guys like get back to the lair as you're like waiting to see, and you all learn this information, so we've all got it available to us. And yeah, you go to see your apothecary friend. So yeah, you arrive at, like, does she have a shop, or is she a more kind of like by appointment only?
Nah, she has a shop.
Okay. So yeah, you arrive at this this. Is this where is she usually who you get your drugs from?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, this place is yeah, she operates a place called the Vale, down in a place called Night Market. And you walk in, and she affects a lot of mystical stuff, but you know she's actually very scientific. But she's always like, you've had discussions with this about this stuff with her, and she finds that like it's easier to sell stuff to the punters when you claim it's Eye of Frog and do all the witchy shit. And she's like, nah. And she like will point out like the front half of the shop is like weird stuff floating in colored jars and crystals hanging from the ceiling. And then she like takes you behind the curtain because you are another person in her field. And it's just all chemical equipment and like lots of little Bunsen burners and brass and copper pots and things to mix stuff in. And yeah, so what do you ask? Like what's
the bloke's name again?
So the captain is Narcus Dunville, and this guy who's been meeting him from the Lamp Blacks is called Orlan Miller, an occult specialist, apparently.
Well, I walk in and kind of grunt and gesture to go to the back room.
And she looks up and goes, "Oh, good to see you, Waystam. Come on." Yeah, like you kind of walk in and she's dressed in like this big veiled like purple robe that comes down to like here, and she's like there's lots of like sequins and strange patterns all over this clothing. And as you turn in, she like spins like kind of almost half slow-mo, weirdly creepy, and then sees you and immediately like drops into normal person, like flicks the hood off. Like, oh hey, yeah, come on back. The usual, or we here for business, not pleasure?
Well, obviously I'll have some, but first business, then pleasure.
Obviously.
So
What can I help you with, Waystam?
My character kind of grunts and splutters the names of the people who I've forgotten again.
Yeah. So you kind of like you pass. Maybe you heard something. Give me. Yeah, I think the consort roll again is the one. Unless you're thinking of something else that would be better. Do you have consort or anything like that?
No, I've got nothing in resolve.
Nice. So yeah. So the way this works is that then you will roll 2d6 and we take the worst result of the two. Again, this is a dominant position, so you're pretty safe. And also you can upgrade that by doing things like stressing and taking devil's bargains if that's what you want to do.
Right, so do I just type /R2d6 or do I have to roll them separately?
/R 2d6. 2d6.
Cool. Nice, 1.
Okay, you get a 1. So yeah, she. Let me look up at my little stuffs. Is a person by season? So yeah, essentially, she gives you the look of like, I ain't interested in getting into the middle of a war between the Red Sashes and the Lamp Blacks, fella. And like, I think it's a part. You get the idea, like either you need to retry this or pay her a significant amount of money to get her to, like, she's a businesswoman first and foremost. There is within your crew's like vaults and stuff, like daily money we don't really track, but your crew has what is referred to as 2 coin, which is like similar to an Apocalypse World of the barter system. These are like sizable chunks of cash that you have on hand. So if you pass her one of those coins, she might open up about a bit of what she knows.
Does it seem like she does know something?
Yeah, you get the idea of like when you say she doesn't recognize the name Captain Narcos, but she's when you say what's his face Orlan, she kind of like goes, okay, yeah. You get the idea that something is in the back of her head. She's probably done some dealings with him.
Right, so I'll bribe her, I guess.
Okay, yeah. So you pass one of the 2 coin from your crew's armory. Like, do you guys have like a protocol for when other crew members spend the money? Like, who's the treasurer of the crew? This is like all of your half of your worldly possessions as people.
Not me, because I just
Can't be
get rid
trusted.
of. I can't be trusted with money.
I don't
like-
think any of us can.
Yeah, but so
I really like
But yeah,
the
you're
idea that,
you're a gambler too.
yeah, I really like the idea that I'm trusted with the money because it would make literally no sense. And the lizard guy, what's he going to spend it on?
Me, we trust that
Interesting.
man.
yeah,
What am I
At
going
the
to
very
spend?
least, we can trust him. I mean, he's a lizard.
fantastic. Okay, yeah. So you grease her hand with silver, as it were, and she kind of like goes, "All right." The guy all in her like 2-3 weeks back has been making regular collections. She lists off like a bunch of chemicals that he's been like investing in. She kind of goes like, and you get the like from there's a lot of like stuff that affects the way people's bodies interact with the supernatural, like stuff that takes you closer to death, as it were. Black Lotus is like a really strong drug for that, and also a few things that are like kind of mind addling. Induce small amounts of hallucinations or like depressed emotional states, that kind of thing. Like, but she's like, he's not telling her what he's using them for, and she's like, he might be mixing them in some other way. But yeah, he said it was for. He was kind of gloating. He said it was for the next big strike against the Red Sashes, whatever the fuck that means. I don't really care. Keep my nose out, best I can. She gives you like basically his order list. So if you want to try and make like a kind of a tinker roll, I think it is, for making this sort of stuff.
I actually have stats in that one.
I know, right? Would it be tinker or yeah? I think it's tinker.
Yeah, Tinker's
Or possibly study. You could hand this list over to your nerds back at base, and they might be able to do some research on it.
And then we'll drink after that.
I was going to say, I don't think it'd be Tinker because that's mechanisms.
Yeah, so this is probably more study. So yeah, if you hand it off to you have like
I'll
a
hand it
crew of
off.
guys for this. So yeah, are your guys based out of like one of the other rooms of this of your lair, or where do your nerds do their work?
Where does the nerd herd hang out?
Probably my like old house that I mentioned, kind of like in the basement. We put
I have
Mickey
an
from
old
there.
mansion you could.
You got a
hang out in.
Winnebago. At the
You
back?
want, yeah,
where
you
they
want
cook?
to hang out in my basement? Good, good.
Okay, yeah. So it gets handed off to them. I will roll a little for those guys.
Down to the nerd cave, we say.
So they'll
They'll play D&D down there in their spare time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Obviously.
24 hours.
So I think yeah, after like they kind of take that off you, they spend a few hours working on it, and they eventually get to like, yeah, okay, so this is basically like these can be combined this way to make drugs that can induce like a really susceptible state to like the otherworldly ghost stuff. So this guy is leaving some like he's been exposed to a really weird amount of ghost interaction and stuff like that. And they're like these like weaken his mental state. These like make him susceptible to suggestion, that kind of stuff. Like it's basically sounds like they're making mind control drugs, and then also putting ghosts in his body to execute specific shit. So they also think of like if they're using ghosts to input information, they need some kind of artifact or like focal point to control said ghosts. Ghosts like a spirit anchor. They like look towards the whisper, the carrot at this point. They need a spirit anchor to keep reign of them, otherwise they'll just possess him and turn him into a vampire. And then he's bugger all used to everyone. Except, himself and his creepy vampire ways. Also, pub. I think that's the information you get off them. They think he's like being mind controlled with ghosts. But and they will have some form of spirit anchor under their possession to keep him in check, and that's why he's only working for the Lamp Blacks at the moment, because they literally have control of his soul.
Sounds creepy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it gives you a target.
Spooky.
You know you need the fancy Darville spirit anchor, and then you will have control over the leader of the local bluecoats, which is nice and creepy. So I guess that finally falls to Zamira to work out where the hell this is.
Hello.
So you find Valaris, your spy friend.
Yes.
Tell me, like, how did was Valaris like your scout guy, or when you were an assassin, or what exactly is he to Zamira?
We were kind of, when we were back in our old gang, we were on a lot of jobs together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we just formed a very, very close friendship, and we turned to each other one day and you went, you know what, let's just get the fuck out of here.
Fair enough.
Because we were both like, this just isn't a thing
Yeah,
for us.
It's just not working for us anymore.
Murdering people every day isn't great.
We used to be a
Taking
good
their
thing,
stuff,
but-
however, that you can get
I
behind.
don't think it was so much that. I think it was the fact that our profit for it was being mainly taken. We were earning about 1/10 of what we should have been
Yeah.
earning.
Yeah, really bad overheads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's poor management. So you guys were like, well, we could do this twice as well on our own. We're gonna go make
Exactly.
a start-up.
We're
It's gonna
fed
be
up, so we
fantastic.
just made up our own business kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. So what do you two like scope the location out together, or do you like ask Valaris to go in and have a look for you, or what's the plan? Because
Well, Valaris is like the master of being invisible.
Mhm.
He can walk into any kind of situation.
yeah,
He could walk like past someone in their own front room, and they wouldn't have been able to know. Like,
Valaris, he's like master of disguise, very sneaky in of himself. He
Yes.
can get most places.
yeah.
Yeah. So you ask him to go do a little bit of work for you. Okay.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's supposed to be a fortune roll then. I'm still getting you. They changed the rule set today, so I'm I found the new rules like 4 hours before this started, so I'm getting used to some of it again.
That's cool.
Okay, so
We know nothing, so
yeah,
wouldn't know the
so
difference.
this roughly works of
I am Jon Snow.
so you get +1 die for each trait rating. So yeah, he's definitely got at least like 1 or 2 like prowl and survey. And you got major advantage, like he's friends of yours. Major drawback though, that the Lamp Blacks now on the lookout because they know people are looking for Orville. Orville was it? Yeah, Orland. Sorry. So they're like getting. So I think he follows kind of the guard tightening up, and then would you roll 2d6 for me? Also, again, if you want to stress yourself out or anything like that, do feel free.
Remind me how to do it, because it's been a while.
/R.
Yeah, I got that.
space 2d6.
Oh, that was easy.
Okay, so we take the best result. So you got a 6, which is a critical success. So this is a daring roll because, sorry, just a regular success. So daring roll because he is wandering around enemy territory. But on a 6, he does it, and yeah, he comes back with like basically having mapped the compound for you, and just says, This Orlan guy has a workshop here. I've found him, like, he's moving between these two locations. There's more guards been posted. You didn't tell me, by the way, that your two bumbling friends had been in and out of Blue Coat HQ and just completely put their alarms up, you know. That was a little bit harrowing. The Lampblacks aren't known for the nice way they treat snoopers. God damn it, woman. And he kind of, like, yeah, points us like, okay, concentration of guards around here that seems to be new, like they don't know their patrol routes yet. The Orlan guy is in and out quite regularly. If this spirit anchor thing you guys are talking about is going to be anywhere, it's going to be in there. On that, best of luck to you.
Thank you very much. Most helpful.
So, yeah, you now have all of the details you need to try and steal this thing.
I imagine we like meet back at HQ at some point to collate.
Yeah. So yeah, all the information discussed. You're in the layer. This is where a system in this game comes in called the plans.
Oh dear.
So the planning phase of this game, basically, you know how when you play a lot of tabletop role-playing games, you spend an hour as a party discussing, this is how we're going to do this, and when you go in it, yeah, this game dispenses with all that shit.
Sweet.
So,
Good. I don't want to talk to you guys, that's good, yeah.
you guys, as a group, you have to choose between 6 different plans. So there is the assault plan, where you intend to do violence to a target, so that'll be blowing your way in, guns blazing. There's the deception, where you intend to lure, trick, or manipulate. The infiltration, where you sneak in. The occult, where you use ghostly passageways and such to like, possess your way in or something like that. Social, where you might infiltrate under the cover of some kind of big social event.
Social is where everybody drinks, right?
Yeah, like there's you guys would know like some event coming up if you want that one. I think the they've had a bit. They're having like there's a wedding coming up between some Lampblacks you've heard about. So if you want to try and sneak in under the cover of that, you could try that. And finally, transport is you intend to move something from place to place, but that one doesn't really apply here. That's kind of in certain cases you can use the transport plan. So you guys can pick an approach type. So there's assault, deception, infiltration, occult, and social. You pick one of these as a group, and then you have to pick a detail for that plan, depending on which plan it is. And then we just go. So what is the style of your group?
Deception.
Well, we don't appear to be too heavy, so...
Well, that is true.
Speak for yourself.
There is a thing about your group. You have both that Ghost Echo's ability that you took, and you have a reputation. Your reputation is that you are strange. So, straight up cat burglary might not be your thing. Like, maybe it's the occult plan. I don't know. Those are parts of the crew you built together. So, it's
Or
occult
deception.
thing. Sorry?
Or we could also do deception.
Deception is a little. I mean, it's you're going to con him out of the spirit anchor. Is that the plan? I mean,
I don't know.
this thing. You give me the detail. Like it's the method of deception is the detail of a deception
maybe
plan.
social then.
Infiltration is you detail the point of the entry point. The occult is the arcane power you will employ. Social is the social connection you're using to get in, and assault is the point of attack. So. Yeah, so this is all 4 of you. So like, you know, it's like in this compound. Like you're breaking into Lampblack HQ. This is not a place you want to get caught. Especially Zamira, as an ex-Red Sash, they may not notice the ex-Red part of being an ex-Red Sash. They may just be, you're a Red Sash, we're gonna fuck you up. And also, you mean you've got a weird genetic freak wandering around with you, and people don't take kindly to demons.
Hey, I'm not weird.
You have poisonous blood and spit.
Fire spit. Spitfire. Maybe. What was the occult? What do we need? What's the detail there?
So if you're going in a cult, you detail the arcane power you will employ. So you have your Whisper's ability to kind of like attune to the ghost field, and also you have the thing of like, what is exactly? Well, I'll pull up the exact ability of your crew because it was quite cool sounding. So Ghost Echoes. From what experience of occult ritual, all crew members gain the ability to see and interact with the ghostly objects, structures, and passages that exist across Dustfall. And do feel free to make this up. Like, you can just say, there is a ghostly, like, the back passage of like between the realms of life and death through into this place or something like that. If that's what you
Hey,
want to
Finbar,
say.
there's a ghostly passage into the...
If that's what I do, just do bear in mind we do roll some dice, and based upon how risky I think your plan is, and also the preparedness of this place and stuff like that, this may go really well, and we may pick up the action as like you're in the vault, you found the spirit anchor, it's all good, or it may be horrible, and you may get stuck in a wailing border between life and death.
Now I believe you.
So yeah,
what are we thinking, guys?
do people have an idea?
Thinking the occult route is probably the way to go.
It seems like the sort of thing that we do.
Yeah, let's do a cult. That sounds really cool.
Some kind of like group ritual
Agreed.
thing.
Especially with that ability with the secret passages and the fact that you've got all the psychic stuff as well.
Yeah.
Just a quick thing about the rest of this, the way this works, is that we do an engagement roll for basically, you know the saying, no plan survives first contact with the enemy? That's literally at the top of this chapter. Essentially, when your plan hits the enemy compound, we roll this roll, and then something happens as a result of that. Then while that's going on, also you can have one member of your crew doing diversions. So for instance, you could put, say, Zamira and her pterodactyl up on like a nearby tall building, and she starts like picking people off at the entrance with her rifle while her pterodactyl makes life difficult for them. And the rest of you use that kind of upsurge of activity to sneak in or something like that. That's also fine. There's rules for that. And then finally you have flashbacks. So once in the plan, you guys can apply a level of stress. Sometimes it doesn't cost anything because it's quite something you could easily have just done. Sometimes it's a little bit like, sure you got one of your crew members to run over with a grapple line launcher to give you your escape route. But if you stress yourself out, you can just add this stuff into the plan on the fly. If you want to look at this PDF, by the way, it is on page 15. This is where the planning and flashback section begins.
Okay, let's have a look.
Yeah. So
Let's
give me that. I'm just going to grab a glass of water very quickly.
Go for it, mate. Have yourself a glass.
Parched, I say.
Absolutely parched. So let's have a read of this stuff. And whilst I have you guys wrapped attention, if you guys haven't followed yet, please hit that follow button. We've got loads of people following today, so that's been absolutely brilliant, hitting 500 followers. But if you could also still carry on, if we get to 550, then we're going to have a viewer decision. You guys get to decide anything that happens in the game, which would be quite exciting.
What are we at? What page are you at?
I'm on page 15, looking at planning and flashbacks. I kind of zoned out for the last 10 minutes. I'm kind of tired. But if you guys could cover me.
Don't let him know. There's 6 plans. We did the plans flashback.
Whatever you do, chat, don't tell him.
It seems to me that we will make this engagement roll, see how shit things are, and then decide if we want to do a diversion.
Yeah, should we just like improvise it?
Yeah.
Always.
I think that's how the system works. You kind of have
Yay!
to. Like,
Yes,
we'll be like, we get got into a corner, but then we can be like, we opened a portal here, and then we'll have to see if we actually
We did that earlier. Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Do we have a plan and a detail on me?
Oh,
Yes.
we do.
All right. So who wants to hit me?
First of all, it's a very detailed plan, so I'm going to kind of condense it down for that long chat we just had there. I mean, Chip came up with some really good points, so did Joe.
I came up with nothing.
Yeah,
Team effort, guys.
Miff came up with basically nothing, so
damn
you can leave the stream now, Miff,
Sorry.
if you
All
want.
right.
But basically the plan is we're going to make it up on the spot.
Good. Yes. No. Strong. I find this is strong.
Very strong.
Do you have a type of plan decided? We definitely.
We wanted to go with the occult, yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
So are you going to go for a kind of set up distraction, lure the guards away thing with sniper on a nearby roof, or are you just going to go all in together, pile in? I just want to give you guys the chance to make use of all of your assorted, like, expertise. For instance, Zamira is really fucking good with a rifle, like really good with a rifle.
You're quite good with a rifle, aren't you?
Yes.
Some say
She says
really
while
good.
polishing, like taking apart this rifle that's like lovingly cleaned in this horrible dump of a house.
Perhaps we should place you on a rooftop somewhere. With a ladder to get down from.
Thank you. That's a very, very nice consideration. Not many people would have thought about the ladder.
Okay. So, diversion zone operation linked to future protection plan. Yeah, okay. So we have. So the plan, as I understand it, is Zamira is going to be creating the diversion for you guys to kind of get in and out well enough. The rest of you are using arcane and occult power to infiltrate this place. So yeah, I guess we can do this thing of like you guys can see interact with the ghost structures. So you find like, I don't know, you link back through the bloodied and traumatized history of Duskwall, and find like into the foundations of the building that they work out of. I mean, actually, just remember what exactly Lamp Black HQ looks like. HQ is in the office of a coal warehouse. So, yeah, you find like maybe a old smuggler's tunnel that went through like into this building, and that caved in and killed like a bunch of people, and you find like the echoes of the dead people in there, and you can use that to kind of like draw yourself through like the gaps between life and death and get inside the building using magical occult bullshit. But within the kind of like they've got that building and they've got a few buildings around it, and so we're gonna have Zamira up on like a watchtower or something nearby, taking pot shots at guards to give you a clear route through. So okay,
All right,
we good with this?
we're good. Sorry, I am flagging after
That sounds good.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
I'm muted half the time, and I was like, yeah, and then I forget that I'm muted.
All good. Okay, so we judge the vulnerability of the target by comparing the details of the PC's plan against the awareness and readiness of the target versus that type of plan. So, I think your plan isn't terrible. Like, you are using ways that people don't expect to just kind of teleport into their building.
We're doing in mysterious ways.
Yeah. You are strange, you're unexpected, you come at them sideways, to reference the Serenity movie.
Yeah.
Right,
Left
Finbar.
field.
Nice.
You're not going to say that just because they're using psychic powers, they'd be prepared against psychic attack, are you?
No,
Why,
but like,
why would they do that?
the thing of they have, I'd say your guys' plan is good against their plan, but at the same time, they have been a little bit tipped off that they're being looked for. So I would say and we're breaking into the HQ of this gang, which is a pretty scary place to get in. So what we'll do is I'm going to set the benchmark. You have 1 dice for this engagement roll. But before we roll that, we have Zamira up on a nearby roof ready to make things a little bit crazy in there. So Zamira, you're kind of lying on a rooftop, staring through the eyes of your giant pterodactyl buckbeak as she flaps and flies away over the top of this compound. And you've kind of like scouted it through the eyes that you've got in the air. Do you want to make some I think it's hunt rolls to start picking off key positions and such like that?
Yes.
See if you can't give the rest of your crew a nice advantage on the way in.
Go for it.
All right, so you are in, I'd say, a daring position, because you're sniping from an unknown position. But then again, if they find you, you're in bad territory. So how much do you have for hunt? I believe it's 2.
Yeah.
Okay. So would you like to add stress to yourself to give you an extra dice?
What are the consequences of that again?
So basically, you have 8 stress that you could potentially take before you take trauma.
You've got like five
Yeah.
bonus dice or
Yeah, I was
something.
gonna
Like.
say,
Oh yeah, you also
dice
have like a
from
crap ton of
Iggy
extra
as
dice
well.
from Ingy's
Yeah,
donation.
okay.
If you want to like add somewhere between 1 and 5 extra dice. All right, so
Oh, wow.
you rolled a 6, so that is from a risky or daring position. You do it. So you're up there with like your long rifle trained on this big compound. You start taking shots. And you also have a fine hunting rifle, I believe, as defined by a fine long rifle. So that actually makes it a little bit better. But you're up against scales, so it kind of negates. So effect. Okay. So I have to make some clocks.
You have to make clocks?
Yeah, the way this game does things is I just have little like pie charts essentially, detailing the scary things about the place you're going into. So if I have like, they're going to go 4 segments for something not very scary, 6 for something average, 8 for pretty bad juju.
Nice. Thank you,
So-
C Note 8870 for following. Welcome, my friend.
So, you have superior tools, and you also have your buckbeak up in the sky, dropping down and like scooping people up and chucking them into the sea. And then like one person turns around at the weird screeching noise and then gets them a dollar snap, Mad Max style.
Exactly like that.
Yeah.
That's why
okay.
they keep me around for sound.
So yeah, you're-
voices.
You haven't been noticed, and you're making a dent, but there's like 50 odd people in this place. Your gang are still going to have to be a little careful inside there. So do you make a move to kind of sneak in yourself and meet up with the rest of them? Is that the plan, or are you having cleared an opening for yourself and your team?
No, I'm gonna stay where I am and just keep an eye on them. I'm gonna go through
Okay.
the eyes of my pterodactyl and just make sure that none of them get into massive shit
Cool.
if it can't be helped.
Yeah, I mean, you can always, as I say, you can use flashbacks to say, okay, we knew that they were going to pop up here, so I moved to this. I then moved to this position after I did the initial sniping to make sure I could cover them, that kind of stuff. Keep that in mind. Cool. So the rest of the team, you like get to this caved-in awfulness, and yeah. So I guess the whisper is kind of on point with the whole occultish stuff. But so I will get you to
Yeah.
roll our engagement roll.
All right.
So
Let's do it.
let me find. So I think you got a reasonable opening open there. So roll 2 dice for me, 2d6.
Sure. That's a 2 and a 6 for an 8.
Oh, the highest one is
I
what we
can
care
do
about.
simple
So
maths.
a good outcome 6 means the PCs have an advantage of some kind when the action starts. So yeah,
Hey.
like we see you kind of like there, you'll kind of two fellas like put their hands like on your back, and I think maybe even does Caro like go from less of the bumbling oaf to more professional when he's actually doing
no.
spirit stuff?
Oh no.
Okay.
No, he's very much a kind of happens to be able to do it by luck, sort of voodoo.
Okay.
Kalima.
Kalima. That's just second reference today.
I know.
Yeah. So I think you get this weird like monochrome like snapping, kind of almost like the riffs in BioShock Infinite,
Gotcha.
and like this portal like opens through like this ancient echo of a tunnel that used to exist and doesn't anymore, and you guys step through that, and it's walking through it. It's like that sensation of people walking on your grave consistently.
Mm-hmm.
It's cold. There's like fingers like ice down your spine, that kind of stuff. You make it
It's cold
through.
as ice. Cool.
And yeah, you're so this is going really smoothly. Like you get up to where you're like you get up into the bottom of the warehouse and you sneak out and you open the door and find 2 bodies lying there from Zamira's sniping. Like you don't even have to go near those guards. You sneak through. Everything's going great. And you're up on this little like the rooftop of the nearby building, or sneaking along some gantry, I think, towards the building that the spirit anchor is supposed to be stored in. And you see there's still a couple guards there. They were covered from Zamira's line of attack. When the door to this building bursts open with an ungodly wailing noise, and Orland is like thrown bodily like 10 feet through it, and the 2 guards kind of rear backwards, like hands going to their swords and pistols. And yeah, I think it's like at this point like a husk of like this zombie looking body like shambles out and like swings at one of them. Yeah.
Just doing sound effects for you, Ben.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so this undead panic is happening down below you in the center of this compound. Just in the doorway of the building you need to get into. You are hidden from this action, which is your advantage. You're having done quite well in your engagement role. But yeah, what do you do?
The boys.
Team? So 3 of you are there. You can see like there's undead shambling out of this room,
Oh dear, that's not good.
going to club lamp black men,
Oh my.
but they're in your way.
Right.
What's the plan?
Well then, let's hop to it, everyone. Let's
Occult is the plan.
Yes, of
But
course.
this is more like you have
Yeah.
you have your skills and your special abilities, so
There's
you
a-
can just like wade in and start fighting people and spit flamey poison in their faces.
Speaking of which, thank you, Flimity Flamity, for following. Welcome.
Speaking of
That is a
things,
name.
The
What a
segue
name.
is real.
Yeah, so like you can literally just fight your way through and try and get in and out
Can
as
we
fast as
like
possible.
wait until the guards, so there's only like their fight finishes?
Yeah,
so
we'll
there's
just
only,
wait for them
Yeah.
to
So
die.
we kill the survivors, kind of thing.
I think the thing is that like as more guards are arriving,
Thank you,
you're
Hannah
seeing
Mooson.
like because the alarm is starting. There's like lots of yelling and bell ringing and all that shit. Like it's this isn't exactly an ideal situation for a heist right now. And yeah, you the more of them are turning up, they will beat the ghosts in you're an experienced fighter. They're these kind of zombies, and then there'll be a lot of them around the place you want to get into. So,
Oh,
unless,
thank you, Nick Zeris has donated £10. Hopeless gets enough to get Will a less broken body. Thank you. Thank you, Rachel. I will try to fix my body with a banana. Thanks so much.
Anna.
Banana. We love you, Nix. We love you.
Cool. So yeah. So what do you guys want to do? You're gonna just run through them and try and like make it through to the other side without
I
dying?
dropped my banana. Fuck.
Good. Has the sniper moved in anticipation of that room being scary and is just gonna start popping shots off? Or are you gonna try and sneak through the top and then like I don't know, pull out like use some weird chemical compound you've got to burn your way through the ceiling? Because I presume you carry drugs and weird poisons and weird
Yeah,
alchemical bullshit.
I've got like fine wrecking tools. I'm good at that shit.
Fine wrecker tools. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So could we like attempt to sneak past and then burn an alternative entrance?
Absolutely. So who is on point to prowl your way past these guys? Of the three of you.
Anyone? I've got 1 point in it. Anyone got better?
Prowl,
Prowl.
alright, or
Prowl is probably the best one here. I mean, if you can find a justification to use one of the other actions instead, you can certainly try that. But Prowl is
Yes.
the move unseen.
sway. I'm gonna go with swag.
Hey guys, it's really cool if you just let me through. That'd be great. But yeah, so if you're going with Prowl, whoever's got the most dots in Prowl should probably lead that.
I think that's me.
I think you all have like 1 or 0.
Uh,
Okay. So yeah, if you're on point, you? Would anyone like to spend stress to to give him extra dice? To give Weiston extra dice to kind of get you through this nightmare of
Sure.
like
I'll do it.
shambling dead?
I'll
Okay.
stress myself out.
Okay, so take 1 stress each.
Mhm.
You're now rolling 3 dice,
cool.
Weiston.
Did you
Uh,
say
did you-
sure at the same time I did?
Yeah, that's quite
Pretty
impressive.
perfect.
You guys are really in
Yeah.
sync.
We're awesome. And we're 3,000 miles away from each other.
Very proud. Okay, you have a 6. You guys, I believe, roll. Do you guys have no points in Lurk? Caro and Arlo?
None.
None? Okay, so you guys roll 2d6 and take the worst one.
Okay,
Ah, good.
cool.
So disadvantage.
2... Oh no, 3.
Okay, so Core gets a 2, you get a 3. Okay, so take 2 stress on Weiston. You
Right.
managed to pull this off amazingly. Like you're really sneaky. You keep them hidden, but like they're morons. They have no idea about how to move without being seen at all. They would not have managed to break out of your crazy slave compound place. And you like it taxes you a great deal to keep them like from getting their brains eaten by crazy zombies. As you creep your way across this this compound.
While disappointingly grunting at them, do the entire
Yeah.
thing.
Absolutely. No other way to do it. So yeah, you get to the side of this like little shack, and you need to so you can attempt to wreck your way through this wall and into the vault itself if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, let's try and wreck the rule. I've got those fine things. What does that
You got
mean?
fine record. So fine record tools give you potency.
right?
Yeah, so basically means that you go up an effect level, which means that you can like burn your way through this wall if you're good.
Cool. So how many dice would I have for this?
So what is your rec skill at?
1.
Okay, then you roll 1, unless you wish to reach with 2 extra. You can take 2 more stress and get an extra dice. And if you have an idea for a devil's bargain, I don't know, for instance, it might be that you leave, like, I mean, you're a fairly, in some ways, trackable kind of guy because of the fact that you secrete a substance that is almost unique. So that may be a clue to who robbed them. And you could take increased heat for the scam, and maybe more people know how to find Weiston and that's it working quickly, and that will get you an extra dice, or something like that.
What do you guys reckon? Should we take this devil's bargain? Should we increase our chance to get away and deal with the consequences later?
Let's
Of
do
course.
it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Conflict, of
Absolutely.
course.
Yeah,
I'll take the devil's bargain then.
Flammable acid is like
Yeah,
left
that's
everywhere. Okay, yeah. So yeah, you like actively like take out like your blood poison stuff and like mix it with something else that turns it into not just skin burning, but into like actual concrete meltable stuff.
Cool.
So yeah, I
And
think
then,
you guys are kind of there. So Arlo and Caro, what are you guys doing while kind of you're in the middle of this heist? You've got all this crazy nonsense like fight with the undead happening nearby. And meanwhile, Weiston's like kneeled down in front of this wall and started like fiddling with assorted tools he's pulling out of his utility belt, essentially. How are you guys like reacting to that nonsense?
Oh dear, that's not good at all.
Yeah,
Arlo tries to limp and like walk right in with his swag,
Well, I'll swagger in with you.
and he's just like,
he's like,
"Follow me, let's go."
he's
Let's
like
just
cutting
go."
his way through the concrete wall, and you're just like, yeah, no, I totally know what's going on. It's all
Yeah, no, it's fine. And then we're like moving people at like people are fighting around us, and I'm like, "Come on, lads, get him! Yeah, fight! Yeah!" Just trying to.
offering the occasional word of support to
Yeah,
someone.
yeah, that's what I'm good. I'm good. I'm the
Yeah.
order. So he's
Yeah,
just trying to walk literally just to where it needs to be. Not even like there are people in the way. He'll try his best to cut through them, but he's just walking with confidence. Fake it
Cool.
till you make it. I belong here.
Yeah, no,
It's like-
absolutely. So yeah, you're there, and you round the back of the building. He starts pulling out his tools, like mixing compounds with his own blood, and like slaps that into like a strange, like kind of almost like a spray paint gun, and like sprays out like I think it's like the Batman gel almost, and then just starts to sizzle like through this concrete wall.
Batman gel. Same, yeah, patent
Well,
pending.
if the Arkham Asylum games, he has the gel
Yeah, yeah.
that can be remote detonated, and but he makes it by mixing his blood with random like liquids and stuff he pulls out of his like clothes.
What
Zamira,
else
you
would
do.
you do?
Yeah, Zamira, you have eyes on these guys from your position above. Do you like do anything in reaction to this war with the undead breaking out, or are you just like, nope, they got it. My job is to cover their escape. They're fine.
No, seriously, from what I can see, it's all going well. It could be going better, but it's not going as horrifically as I assumed it would be.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna sort out their lives. All right, they got themselves half into this mess. They can do a little bit more before I start intervening.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh dear, we're screwed, boys.
So,
Should
yeah,
I roll them?
let's get a rec roll. So Devil's Bargain for you are very traceable. Okay, a 6. So yeah, you guys pass too many rolls. It's hard to mess with you. So you just like pull out all these tools, just burn your way through this wall and just knock it through. Climb in and yeah, you're kind of in this weird like workshop lab. Workshop like it's got a lot of the occult trappings, but of like someone who's actually working with the occult, as opposed to say your drug dealer friend, who's just kind of all decorative. Yeah, so Caro, I think you're kind of needed here to like find the thing you're looking for, because to the rest of you guys it looks like weirdo junk. So yeah, I guess how do you kind of like sift through everything, or do you just ask the ghosts?
Yeah, I'd probably speak to ghosts because I have a reputation for buying junk. So speaking to the ghosts, would
Yeah.
probably
And also you've got 2 dots and a tune,
exactly.
and attuning to the ghost field is kind of your thing.
It's my jam.
Yeah,
It's
so
my absolute jam.
are the rest of you like helping with this and like being led by it, or are you just leaving him to do his thing?
Leave me to die.
No, we're just kind of watching the entrance, kind
Okay.
of guarding it, I guess.
Just
So
looking
yeah,
at me.
give me that that attune roll then, please, sir.
Okay, so 2d6.
Yes, 2d6. Then do you wish
Take
to
that.
stress yourself or anything like that?
I'll be okay for now.
Okay.
I want to stay chill. A 5 and a 4.
Okay. So the 5, you're in a. This is getting like probably to the. So this is probably the last thing you could do that's daring. Next, it's going to get super desperate because things
Super
are going like outside. Like you can hear the sound of the battle ending. Like you see once you get in here, there's like almost a little infirmary wing, and you can see like the bloodstains and stuff where these corpses have just got up. Yeah, and as you attune, you realize that this room is like, it's the soul equivalent of a slaughterhouse. They're like chopping ghosts up and forcing them to do things they aren't supposed to be doing, and like
Oh dear.
Ooh.
it's the residual kind of animosity reanimated these bodies and is lurching them around, trying to kill everything in sight.
That is nasty.
Yeah, it's not great. And so you're like, you kind of your eyes like roll back. I don't know. How does Caro attune to the ghost field? What does he do to like reach out to the ghosts?
My eyes roll back in my head.
Mm.
And I kind of say, Kalima, Kalima. And
Yeah.
the ghost
Third.
comes to me.
Yeah, I think you
But Indy.
slowly get pulled
Best
over
one.
towards one of these things, while Arlo and Weiston, you hear something from behind you and turn around, and another one of these corpses just stood up and is like staring at you, blank-eyed from across the room, and then lurches towards you while Caro's still doing his thing. What do you do?
I lick 2 throwing knives and throw them at the zombie.
Ooh.
Okay, I think
That's hot.
that's
Yeah?
yeah,
Skirmish
that's
roll?
pretty that's a skirmish roll, yeah, definitely. Are you backing
Pretty
him up,
cool.
Arlo, or are you like fuck this?
He actually draws his cane sword and then goes into like this like a classic fencing stance, and he just retreats. Like I'm still a little scared.
Classic fencing stance, classic fencing
Yeah.
retreat.
Retreat. Retreat.
Yeah, you're defending Caro while he's vulnerable in his attuned state. Yeah, okay, so
Yes.
give me a
that's it.
skirmish roll, then
So I've got 2,
Hello?
right?
yeah, this is just for Weiston. You do have 2
Oh, okay.
indeed.
Ah, shit's gone wrong.
2s, yeah.
Shit's
so
going wrong.
this is definitely a daring roll.
In short,
Should be bad. I'm trying to think if your leech stuff does anything fancy here. So you just exhalers of vapor as well. Holy crap, that's hilarious. Okay, so 1 to 3 things go badly. You stop harm. Yeah. So you like lick these 2 knives, flick them at him, and like this thing bursts into flames, but doesn't stop.
Nice.
And just like
Right.
runs at you and rugby tackles you through the door while on fire into the outside. And like this flaming creature is like on top of you, and like it's your fire, so you're not being burnt, but you have a zombie on top of you, and you're out in the middle of this courtyard surrounded by lampblacks. And yeah, Zamira, you see that happen. So there's like, I think maybe 7 or 8 lampblacks fighting like 4 more of these corpses out here, and they kind of just turn and see this flaming one like on top of like your hood's fallen back, like your full-on lizardish like burned away nose features are displayed, and it's all getting a little bit heavy.
It's all getting a bit real.
Oh, a bit real, yes, exactly. So
It's all getting a
yeah,
bit too much for me, guys.
and Orlan kind of like turns around, it's like and yells at us, "Get in there! Get that goddamn anchor, you fools!" and like runs past, going to head in. Yeah, at this point, I think Kara, you grab the spirit anchor. It's like a heavy kind of weighted like dowsing stone kind of thing, like big pendant thing. And you like can feel it. It's weird, like it's kind of tied to souls and stuff, but you get like this presence, and like this image floats into your head of the of who you recognize after having him pointed out to you by Lorraine, or what was her name?
Lorraine.
La Rose or something.
Lorraine
Lorraine.
Cully. Lorraine
Yeah.
Cully.
And she yeah, you recognize it as the captain, and like these like the strings coming off of it threading through this ghost world like are like puppets stringing him along. So you've got the right thing, but you turn around and like you see Arlo there with his like cane sword out, kind of looking at you like, Yeah, so what do you two do? Stuck in this room. You've got a few seconds before I think things start to get bad. What do you
Who's
do?
this? Me?
Yeah, you two kind of... You've just seen Winston get, like, rugby tackled out by a flaming zombie. That zombie was flaming! And, yeah, like...
Zombies.
So hot
like,
right now.
Caro
so
turns around
hot
with
right
the anchor in hand, like, let's go. And, yeah, you're kind of
Let's
there
go,
with your sword out, like, slight issue with that plan.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna advance to the zombie.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. They've been tackled outside into the big melee that's going on out there.
I'm not doing that.
I am not going anywhere near that.
Where's the
Come on,
spirit
Ed.
anchor?
Come on, Ed.
Where's the
Yeah.
spirit anchor?
The spirit anchor is with
with-
Caro, who's like right in front of you, like
Yeah.
kind of like, let's go.
Let's
Wait,
go,
where's
then.
Winston?
Come on, this seems like all of us ready. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, okay, so you run out. Kind of. Is one of you just like whack the flaming zombie over the back of the head
Yes.
to try and get him out? Okay, so yeah,
Cane sword.
yeah. So give me a skirmish roll, I guess.
How do I do that? Skirmish.
So if you don't have any dots in skirmish, you roll 2 dice and you take the worst one.
Bloop.
Oh, I have a hand.
What about a hand?
That's
5.
a 4. This is very much
Oh,
a
worst.
desperate.
Yeah, 4.
This is a desperate situation now, so you get to mark an XP advancement. Yay.
That's right, guys.
So it's all
Hashtag
about
one
that,
shot.
the XP
Yeah.
grind, man. Gotta get on the grind.
So yeah, you do it, but there's a
Right.
consequence. You suffer harm, complication occurs, you end up in a desperate position.
It's all about it.
Yeah, so you like run out. I think you chop this zombie's head off and like falls over, and Winston kind of picks himself up. But yeah, the lamp blacks are kind of closing in around you, and you've got this enemy gang staring at you. And Kara's like, yeah, runs out holding the spirit anchor, and like Olav like points it and screams, "Get them!" And they're about to like run at you. Do we have is there a plan, team? Are you going to stand your ground and fight? Are you going to leg it? Do you have?
How far can we leg it?
I mean, you can
Like,
turn
what's the
around and
leg
run
it
back
look
to the
like?
room. You've got a back way into this room, like the burned out like concrete
Yeah, we
hole
like
thing you made.
It's a
run
one
it-
shot. Let's stay and fight.
I mean,
Yeah.
you could also have like if one of you wants to
Stand and
stress
die.
for like a big distraction you've got placed in readiness for this. I don't know, like bombs rigged to blow a chunk out of the wall that the leech put together or something like that. You
What's
could
What's the pterodactyl dragon Rex Raptor doing?
Buckbeak.
Buckbeak.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Ingy wants you to use your extra dice, because if not, you should get it in the snowpocalypse. If you don't use them.
Um,
So you use them.
so Zamira,
Well, they're
you're
hot.
you're seeing this really bad situation of your 3 non-combative friends. Well, one who can hold his own in a fight, but 2 who
Yes.
are morons. Up
Yes,
against
yes.
like
No, no,
In a
amateurs,
fight.
absolute fools.
In a fight, we're morons.
they're up against 8 people. Yeah, what's your plan?
Seeing as how I wasn't,
Buckbeak.
you know, like, my Buckbeak isn't actually that big, but he's trying to help out as best he can.
It's got a big heart.
But his heart is big.
It's my Buckbeak.
as the heart.
That he's trying to, you know, pick off the ones on the outside and stop them getting any further towards
So
you.
is this going to be like a big group? Like, well, fuck it, we've got a pterodactyl backing
You've
us
got a
up.
pterodactyl on your side, like, yeah.
Okay,
What could
so
go
I
wrong?
think this would be
You guys just see the pterodactyl, like, swoop down just as you're like, yeah, fuck it, let's stay and fight.
okay.
The eagles are coming.
The eagles are coming.
So I think what this happens.
This is one buckbeak flies down. We're saved.
So in my head, unless you guys have something particularly different you do, this is probably another skirmish roll led by either kind of Buckbeak in lieu of Zamira, or probably Weiston because he's good at this. And kind of like charges into battle, and you two are like hold up swords and run in after him, going, "Ah!"
Hey! Advance.
Yeah. So is that the plan? Big
Yeah,
big
that
big
sounds like a
fight
plan.
out.
Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds like a plan. Epic fight.
Okay. So yeah. So here's how this
How
works.
epic it's
So
gonna
all
be.
of you will roll your skirmish. I don't know if you have one skirmish, so before you make those rolls,
Good.
let's just do a quick thing.
Before we made.
If you have no dots, you roll 2 dice, take the worst. Do bear in mind, this is the kind of one where if you fail, you're in a desperate position. The harm is 3 of you die. Like,
Hey!
bad things could
so
happen to you here.
That's good
so
odds. I can take those
Should
odds.
so presumably the best thing would be to do if they all take a stress to support my roll, so I have 5 dice.
That would be a good one, yeah. You can also burn through some of your extra dice, Chip, if that's your plan, or
I was
Zamira.
gonna say, can I have some of my extra dice now, please?
I mean, you have 4 remaining?
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Or 5? I can't remember. Have you already spent one?
Did I? Yes.
I don't
did.
remember.
Yeah,
You-
I want to say yes, but that's
Okay, well,
good,
you
'cause-
definitely have 4 extra dice if you want to roll
Let's-
5
Yeah,
d6.
let's go with 4.
Okay, so you
That's a
can
nice
you can roll
round.
5 dice. If everyone takes 1 stress, except for Wyson, he can roll 5 dice.
Oh my god, that's a lot of dice we're talking about here, Finn.
Yeah, so you guys are rolling 10d6, and then the 2 of you who have no points in skirmish,
Hey.
you roll 2d6 and take the worst.
Wait, what am I rolling?
So you roll 5d6.
good.
I'm
Isn't
rolling
that-
5d6.
No, you're rolling
Zero.
2 and taking
I'm
the worst.
rolling 2d6. Okay, I'll take the
Okay,
worst.
we've got a 6.
I'll take a 3.
You take a 3. I suppose, Cord, you rolled a 6
No,
and a
those don't
1, so you
count.
take a 1. And then
Yeah.
give me another 5 dice.
Chat
I
says you
rolled
have...
a 2 and then a 6, and then you said before you roll, and I was like, ha, okay. And then you said,
About
and
this.
then I rolled again, and then I got a 1 and a 6. So it's
A 1
like,
or 2 are basically equivalent.
tease,
Okay, so
tease.
there's actually 2 6s there in all of those many rolls. So this is what happens is a critical effect.
Oh, epic.
My God.
Yeah. So you guys actually do really well. However, 2 of you had lowest. Let me remind myself exactly of how this works, but I think Weiston is about to take a bunch of stress.
Oh, joy.
My mum's in the other room. What are you talking about?
Their best results.
Haha, so funny.
Yeah. So you take
Banter.
2 more stress, Weiston.
Oh, great.
How much did that put you on?
4.
Okay, you're fine. The golden number is 8. That's when bad things happen. So I think, like, if any of you have particular ways you want to narrate this. So, Arlo and Caro are kind of useless. But, like,
Okay.
you get a couple people, like,
Okay, it's gonna be like
collapsing
that,
as
isn't it?
like,
Welcome
one
to
person collapses
stream.
their snipe, and then Buckbeak, like, lands on another one and, like, rips his throat out, and then, I suppose... Yeah, it's mostly down to like
I grab
between
onto the
Buckbeak's
eagle.
like ferocity and surprise aerial assault, and
I grab onto the eagle and fly away.
he can't carry your fat ass.
It takes me back to the Misty Mountains.
Yeah, and Weiston like starts like leaping into the fray.
Yeah.
Like, what weapons do you carry?
I've got, I'm just kind of using daggers and just kind of ducking and weaving through the fight, stabbing people, spitting in their faces as people
Yeah,
set on
like
fire
you just
around
like
me.
come up and just
People
breathe a
scream,
vapor
burning
that
flesh.
sets a dude's head on fire, into one person's face, and like there's a lot of murder is happening. It's going pretty well. Bad things. That's a bump. This is annoying me. Yeah, so I think you set about it, and then you're managing to cut your way through these guys. You have good tools. Yeah. So I think it literally is you get down to literally just Orlan is left, and he's like and he's backing away slowly. As you've like I think you see Caro and Arlo like following back to back, like waving ineffectually at already dead people.
Get him, boys.
That's right.
And
We'll show you
How
what
you doing over there?
you just see Wasteland like duck under a sword slash, pop up, and then just goes, and this dude's hair sets on fire, and he runs off like this hellish green flame consuming his head. Like flips the daggers over, and you start advancing on Orlan. His name changes every time I say it. Yeah, no, it was actually Orlan. Oh my god, I got it right.
Got it.
And as you walk towards him, he like throws his hands up, and you see his eyes roll back, and like the air around you gets really cold, and you feel the ghosts in the area start like whirling around, and bad things. Like his body like just collapses as if like a puppet with its strings cut, and the kind of like all of the hairs in the back of your neck stand up, Your like mind connection with Buckbeak starts getting really fuzzy. Buckbeak starts freaking out down on the ground. Yeah, he is summoning unpleasant, ghostly awfulness, and like howling noises start picking up in your ears. The mist just appears out of nowhere. What's the plan, team?
Thank you, Sinbad
you.
45 for following. Welcome, mate. I draw Sting, and it's glowing blue.
And this is the ghost stuff. This is the Whispers area.
Yeah, yeah.
Stop the Lord of the Rings comments here, people.
I
Like, what?
literally will never do that.
How dare
So-
you suggest such a thing?
Okay, yeah, I'm a bad person for suggesting it. Yeah, I know.
I don't know why you said that sarcastically, because...
No, genuinely. I'm a
Okay, good. I mean, I don't want to have an argument about this, but I was prepared to.
Same verge of everything kicking off. And not,
Yeah, it's like,
and not the fight we've just finished.
we're doing it live.
So yeah.
Yeah, okay, so like we're fighting effectually, I'm doing freaking nothing, so I put on my like demon masky shit.
Yeah, your like spirit mask like crawls out of your bag and onto your face. Are you gonna like attune, or are you just gonna use your Tempest powers to throw lightning bolts at this dude?
I'm gonna Tempest. I'm gonna get all the Tempest in this shit and start.
Yeah,
some
so like
Shakespeare.
these electroplasmic vapors start forming into like clouds and stuff. And
Wait, what is that word? Electroplasmic. That's a very good
Electroplasmic.
word. I
Yeah,
like that
it's,
word,
it's the
Finbar.
technical term for all of your this whisper shit. Is like ghosts are made of electroplasm as much as, and it's also the same stuff.
Did you make
use.
that word yourself? Because that's a
No,
great
I'm
word.
afraid that's setting.
That's disappointing.
I'm sorry.
Less interesting.
Well, I'm still keeping it. Thanks.
Yep.
Thanks for the
I
yeah.
understood.
But so you just kind of like step forward, and how big are you going here? Are you going to go full on 6 stress and just
I'm
fuck
going.
this place up?
Yeah, I'm going full on.
You're going to
King-
go storm.
I'm going full on King Lear on the hillside. This is gonna be some.
Was there a speech?
Some big shit. Probably not. I mean, it's probably like Kalimra, Kalimra,
Yeah.
and
So I think it's actually a weird one. Of like the rest of the time, it's kind of looked a bit shit. But this time, Caro kind of like does his same sort of weird little jazz hands and says Kali Ma, and like storm clouds begin gathering, and like these vapors start to like blow away, and like unnatural green lightning sparks off of his hands into the sky, and then like
so natural.
one of these kind of
It
ghost
looks so
vapors like
natural.
solidifies and lunges towards you, Eisen, and this bolt of green lightning hits it and just like destroys it utterly. It like scatters apart, the ground cracks underneath it, and then like, so you went for 6 stress, right?
yeah, I'm
Okay.
stressed. I'm a stressed man.
We make this big. Does that put you at 8?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it
I
does.
can't
Yeah,
say.
so
I
that's
can't
about it.
say I've been counting.
Yeah,
But
you
I'm happy to
definitely-
die. Like if it kills me,
Oh, it doesn't kill you.
Oh.
So
Oh.
the basically like the lightning bolts like strike through all the ghosts and like they explode, and then like and the lightning like keeps pouring off of Caro into the sky, and then like it finishes going and the clouds are still growing, and then you hear like Kali, and Caro.
He's trying to bring
collapses.
down the mountain.
Caro just collapses and faints away, gone. But the clouds are still growing, and there's more lightning coming down, and like you see one hit at that like building you were just inside, and the building like the entire ceiling like caves in, and, like hail starts falling, and like you see like you dodge to the side of one of them, and it hits like the head of one of the guys you just beat up, and it hit like it smushes like a pumpkin. Yeah, he's just summoned the day after tomorrow storm, and passed out.
The boys.
You guys will be fine.
Yeah.
At this
So-
point, do me and Arlo just like pick him up and run away
Yeah.
as this
Okay.
lightning storm destroys everything around us?
Good luck
You
picking me
basically
up. I'm a
wrecked
big
an
guy.
entire crew by summoning like the end of the world in their base.
The apocalypse is nigh.
Yeah. So
I
what's
am a
your
parcel
exit
fire.
point? Like, because you can't really go through like your major occult entry point is a little bit more tricky to get through without your guy who's really good at that stuff.
Shall not.
Oh god.
Can't we just run out down a back alley like?
I mean, that is the thing is that this place is a walled compound. Like it
Oh, we're in a
has
walled
fences
compound.
and stuff like
Right.
that. Like I mean, you can go for a fence and like slice it open, or I don't know whether you've got like an existing escape route planned. and like it's that you've got some alchemical stuff rigged up, or that Zamira like sees you guys getting out and she runs and basically chucks like some alchemical C4 or something onto that. If you that's a use for your flashback kind of mechanisms. If you want to do something cool.
I need to look at flashbacks.
I mean, you were just like, nah, fuck it. I haven't been effective for the last little while. Lightning! I am the god of thunder!
I come from the land of the ice and snow.
Okay, can I flash?
Do not
back to
take
how
me for a
rigged the
conjurer
wall
of
to
cheap
explode?
tricks.
Absolutely. So like how did you do that? Tell me like the scene like 2 days ago when you're planning the heist where you snuck up to the side of this building and planted bombs.
No, I planted this liquid compound that's specifically rigged to blow up when I spit on it.
Right.
So I've kind of soaked the wall through,
Nice.
and then just kind of run to the wall, spit on it, and it bursts into flames.
Okay.
But
Yeah, like
other
flames
than the
that can
sun,
melt concrete.
chemical green flames going, and the wall just turns to soot in a matter of seconds.
Okay. So give me a rec roll.
He fell into
A
fire
wreck. So what do I roll
and
for rec?
shadow.
So this also will give you 2 stress, by the way, because that is definitely a pretty advanced one to pull off.
Definitely is.
So rec, you're rolling to see how effective this is.
Yeah, how many dice?
So your rec is 2d6.
Wrecked.
If you can think of a good...
Three.
Ooh, that's bad. If you can think of a good devil's bargain, you can roll another one now.
I get caught by the fire and like collapse.
Well, I mean,
As well.
you're immune to these fires generally, aren't you?
Yeah,
Um,
but this is not just my fire.
I
This is
suppose.
some chemical burn
I
your
guess you
face.
could just take a lot of harm, but that's like just taking harm is kind of the consequence of it failing. So there's no point to take the devil's bargain. Good devil's bargains are reveal a valuable secret, sacrifice a coin or an item. So maybe like this uses up all of the rest of your alchemical stuff until you can replace it with for money, or maybe betray a friend or lover. Maybe it's like that you carry Caro too close to the fire as you set it off, and he's gonna have like similar burns to you.
It won't just be me.
Yeah, suffer harm is actually on there, I guess. So if you want to take like a serious injury just to pull this off, I guess you are quite close to this when it goes off to be able to spit it. So if you're just going to take serious injury by default, sure, then roll an extra d6 now.
Cool.
Okay. One more. And pray for something good, team. A 5! A 5 in a desperate situation. You do it, but there's a consequence. You suffer severe harm, a serious complication occurs, or you lose this opportunity for action. So here's what happens. He runs up, like, he drops Caro on you, Arlo. He runs up, spits on the wall, misjudges the distance. This wall bursts into flames, like, this horrific green fire. And, like, you see his tongue get caught right in the end of it and then just, like, vanishes. Like, the heat next to it is, like, disgusting. Like, it starts green, which is your normal color of your poison, and then turns, like, a searing, like, white kind of pure heat flame. Like, the tip of your tongue just vanishes, and, like, your poison spit is kind of cut off from you for a while. And then, like, you jump back and, like, take horrific burns all across your arms. So if we were marking this properly, you would have just taken severe harm, and you are currently incapable of doing anything with your hands without help.
Cool.
So yeah, you like fall backwards, kind of like crying in pain. And yeah, from your position, Arlo, you watch a concrete wall melt.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's like Wyson has kind of been pretty baller on this heist.
Like into like muddy sand, or
Yeah,
just like
it kind
melt
of, like,
into like
melts
lava.
into like it's like kind of like like solid
soot.
lava if you've ever
Soot.
seen it. Oh, so just burn
cool.
clean.
It's just like evaporated in a kind of cartoon. Just it all turns into black dust, and it all kind of just slowly falls down into a big pile. So
Yeah.
there's just this massive sooty outline where the wall once was.
So Zamira, have you made your way as like, was that the signal to leg it? I presume Buckbeak has left the immediate danger zone of the horrific storm.
Obviously, yeah.
Good. Okay. Yeah, so you meet up with the rest of the crew, and leg it back home. So
The boys.
I suppose Caro kind of like wakes up back in his bed in the lair.
Oh god.
As we're seeing, like, I don't know, some. Who do you guys know who? I suppose your apothecary friend has come by and is, like, bandaging up, like, Weiston's horrifically burnt arms.
Oh, did it happen again?
Harlow looks fine. The other two are really okay. Weiston's struggling to talk even more than usual with his, like, missing half his tongue. And like your apothecary friend is listening, like, I've got a bunch of compounds I can treat that. You'll be fine. It'll cost you money, but you'll be fine.
Oh, just fix my body. I'm so broken.
Yeah, it's like, I suppose, Zelina, you maybe went out for a little recce after, like, it's been maybe a couple hours, and yeah, that storm is still going, and you kind of maybe had a little peek, and like the warehouse is gone, as are the kind of 3 streets in any direction around it.
It happened again.
He basically just wiped out, like, at the cost of his mind. Yeah, you have now suffered trauma, which means that your vice improves by 1.
Hey.
So you're now even better, or even more addicted to gambling.
Everybody.
You're even
wins.
better at gambling. That's what
I
that
like
means.
good
that
at it.
idea.
Yeah.
I've summoned this incredible storm, and now I can count cards.
Well, it
Yeah.
breaks it so much that he has to delve more into his vices and addictions to deal with the, like, horrific mental scarring he just inflicted upon himself.
So worth. So
But you
worth.
have also just wiped out the lampblacks.
Hey, the
They're
boys.
just gone.
Hey.
Yeah, you
So much
destroyed
worse.
half this, like, a good few streets of this town. So yeah, like, you've seen this place and you've seen, like, the damage he's wrought, and he's got a hangover. How are you reacting to that, out of interest? How are you guys dealing with, like, the horrific cosmic power that your 2 friends have just displayed? Like, we can melt concrete and destroy streets.
So
and
has
it gives us
anybody got a tea around here?
Yeah, get this man some tea.
Oh,
Greg, I'll get Greg. Greg's good at tea. He's good at tea fetching.
no milk, 2 sugars, please. That'd be lovely.
How many milks? 9? Did you say 9? That's gross. Say 1 or 9? What'd you say?
Too tired to argue.
Want some tea with that sugar?
So what, sorry?
Oh, my cat broke
Want some tea with that?
the Skype kitten. There we go.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
I would.
So I guess the question comes now, of you have a spirit anchor that in the hands of a professional whisper or some handy nerds could manipulate the captain of the local bluecoats. And I mean, there's one thing having, like, a person on the payroll who can let you know when the cops come in after you. It's another one to basically control the cops in the area.
I call the nerd herd. I get them on the phone.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Nerd
because
herd
they were just
assemble.
working like 2 days ago, and they're just taking all the money. It's like, what are the guy who runs, like, leads your little team, who shall henceforth be called Durzo. Like,
Durzo. Should I write
you,
that
like,
down?
stagger down. You find him, like, slumped in his lab chair. Okay, Lucy, like, what? Oh God, close the door. Oh, the light. No.
Oh,
No.
yeah. Sorry. Light. That's why it's so gloomy here. Everybody's hungover all the time.
You just kind of hear a groan from one of the corners. Like,
Shut up.
Like
Sorry.
and like something hits a table and a bottle of, like, surgical spirit. It's like basically overproof rum is all they drink. Just falls
And the
off and
clink-
smashed on the
Clink
floor.
makes them hold their ears. They're like, it's so loud.
Falls off. You get 4 simultaneous.
Ah.
Yeah. So they're kind of there, like, what do you want, Arlo? I thought we were on break.
Yeah, we're not though. Look, we got a weird look at this. Check out this spirit anchor. That's what they call it. I
Yeah,
grabbed it myself.
impressive.
Flying.
Can you not
Yeah,
leave that to what's his face?
Yeah, no. I think you guys should probably take a look at this. I'd see it done by what? Tomorrow? Tomorrow's probably good, right? And he just walks out.
You monster. You do not pay us enough.
No, I know how much you guys like figuring shit out. So afterward, I'll buy you a round of beer, and we could all celebrate on your discoveries and shit. 2 rounds, 5
Come on,
rounds.
people.
Shh, not too loud. I know, yeah. And I slam the door.
Again, in 4.
I hear them. Yeah, I hear them through the door. Ah!
Yeah. Okay.
Constantly hungover nerds. It's like an empty keg, and they're like, "Oh man!" Just
Well, they make their own when they're
The
not working
laptop.
for you. They're basically just home. They have their
they're
own
home brewing.
stills. Yeah,
Exactly. They've got like a laptop on top of the keg, and they're like,
yeah. So
just building a new website.
yeah. So does a conversation happen between anyone about the possible profit of not giving this to the Red Sashes? Like, you guys' reputation just soared through the roof because yeah, I mean, you
Arlo's
did not make a
especially.
stealthy retreat from that place. You just leveled it with like lightning magic. There's like 1,000 new ghosts around. The spirit wardens have been running around for the last 6 hours, like trying to tame this like massive, horrific electroplasmic storm and all that, and they're struggling. And there's ghosts, the wailing so loud that your weird like new vision. It's like this part of town is like it's like almost a rave of like the level of like weird lights and
There's a
shit
new
coming
club
out.
opening where that warehouse was.
Yeah. It's like you just opened a gate to hell and everyone's freaking out.
It's called the Storm, and
Would you call it a
everybody's out.
hellmouth, Finbar?
Caro is the Slayer. Yeah, so
So people like us, is what you're saying. We've got a
Yeah.
I
really
don't
good
necessarily
reputation.
like you,
Irish
but they definitely know of
Drive.
you. Like,
Irish
there's a
Drive
story
has just
of, like,
donated
how
£6.
a dragon.
Pounds.
Lovely guy.
I just
Irish
smiley. Thank you, buddy.
Oh, that's not cheeky smiley, dude. Thank you. That's-
Thank you for the donation, fella. So yeah, there's
Seen
like
it
the
in a
stories
while.
of how like these 4 people are the only people to have emerged from the storm alive, like preceded by a great winged demon. Like your story has gone through every pub, and like I think maybe like one of your contacts, like maybe your friend the jailbird, has like dropped by and gone like, Arlo, did you guys break the city?
No, we don't break the city. We just we gave it a new opening, right? Right?
We
New opening.
renovated. It seemed a bit shabby.
Yeah, it was a bit boring over
Landscaping.
there. Now we got a light show.
Landscaping work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
landscape. That's what it was. We needed a new water feature, electroplasmic water feature, and now we have it. Now we can all look and be like, look at that over
Yeah.
there. When's it gonna die? I don't know.
Oh, please God, let it go away.
Please.
Let it
Yeah,
burn.
so that's the last thing I want to know is what the spirit anchor, like, you get back from the nerds in a couple of days, like, this thing is, it's potent, and yeah, like, they go, yeah, you'll need to kind of keep him doped up on stuff to keep his brain low, but they kind of they get the whole going on for 3 weeks. He's an addict. He'll die at this point if he doesn't get these drugs.
Ingy
So if
has
you're
just
willing, sorry,
donated £1. Ingy's donated £1 and says more kitty. The myth.
the
Get a
cat
cat in
gets
on
an
it.
extra dice.
Yeah, look, plus 1 dice, look at.
The cat can roll 1d6 in cuteness. So yeah, like they kind of give you the rundown on like the technical specs of it, and it's like, yeah, you guys could use this quite easily. So what does the crew decide? Are you going to make an enemy of the Red Sashes and keep it, or are you going to give it to the Red Sashes and forfeit all that back? You just put the cat in the bag.
There's a cat's in the bag. Don't let the cat out the bag, Myth.
No, no. This is where she hides. This is like where she goes and plays. Like, I went grocery shopping yesterday, and she's been playing in this bag the whole time. I just went to go get her, and she was just inside with her tail sticking out. I just picked up the bag. She loves it. So anyway, that's the kitty. Kitty
I
My
guess-
cat's not as cute as that. He just comes up and scratches you in the face.
I mean, after that, we definitely have to keep this device, right?
Yeah, I say we keep it.
Okay.
So we use it to make the guards blame the red coat people for the explosions and stuff.
All right. So you're
So,
going to
like,
specifically
Red
throw
Sashes.
people off your trail, race.
did
Yeah,
it.
like you basically now get default super good relationships with the Bluecoats because by any and all reports that any official Bluecoat will hear, you guys are great.
Hey!
You have like free time with the Bluecoats. Yeah.
Nice.
So there is a little bit of downtime stuff that kind of goes in and after every heist, ways for you to de-stress, things like that.
I gamble away all my money.
Yeah, I mean, you guys obviously go out and gamble and things like that.
Goes on vacation.
Yep.
So I
You
think
guys
what
are
we should
boring
do,
me.
because
Grow my tongue.
normally it's supposed to be like recover from harm, restore your armor kind of stuff. But I presume almost like you have nothing to really do except work on background projects, Kara, because you de-stress by narrative now. You're just like, well, I'm just be fine when I just play more cards.
Exactly.
But I just like to see what happens when everyone indulges their vice and to see what kind of awfulness could happen if we continued this universe, because I'm curious.
Sure.
So let's go left to right. Zelina.
Must be your left because it's completely different.
It's
from
my
ours.
left, yes. Zamira.
Gotcha.
So you go out and you indulge your vice. So you get all the lovers.
All of the lovers.
Nice mug.
All of
Yeah.
the lovers.
Great, great mug.
Over 9,000.
Okay,
I still look
so
at my fiance.
you can indulge your vice and you clear 1 stress plus your vice rating. So you guys clear 2 by standard. However, you can overindulge, where you can pawn off all your stuff. Your current purveyor cuts you off and you need to find a new source for your vice. You make a terrible decision in doing it. Maybe you have, like, you guys are just at war with the Red Sash and you're like, I remember there was a really cute guy in the Red Sashes. I should totally go see him. That'd be a great plan. I'm just going to wander into Red Sash territory. Or you just get lost and kind of wander away. These are the sorts of options. So do you just kind of have a quiet one, or is everyone going to make bad decisions because you're terrible people?
Well, Zamira's won't exactly be quiet.
Very fair.
Ooh. I see what you did there.
Satan does that thing you like with his tongue.
In the most literal sense of the word.
Yeah, so I guess basically you're all, as we've discovered, none of you are subtle. So I imagine there's lots of overindulging and bad decisions being made and stuff like that. So let's see what happens when we roll some entanglements. Like, what do you all do? Just give me a fictional thing of what do you do?
I'm trying to think of like what my character would do. He probably went on vacation somewhere because he hates people and hates this entire town. But I don't understand like how reckless it can be.
Yeah, I guess your bad decision is well, you can just go to horrifically dangerous place. Like the place you could be alone right now is at the center of
Antarctica.
Just go to the center of a giant electroplasmic storm. There's no one else there.
That's true. That's probably it. He probably strolled by the storm. He's like, you know what? I need to keep my mind off of people. You know what aren't people? Over there. He's probably like exploring
break, like,
the
use
warehouse.
the spirit ward and quarantine and head back to the site. Yeah.
Yeah,
Find it, like,
That's probably exactly what he's doing. He's like kicking rocks, just thinking about life. And there's like bodies still like crackling from this electroplasmic energy. And I'm like,
yeah, bump
life.
into Orland's ghost briefly.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of stuff. So Zamira, what does Zamira do that's a terrible decision because you were all stupid people?
I decided to go and buy every single person who works in the brothel.
You are all mine. Get on.
Just like doesn't talk to you guys.
I
Just
didn't
empties
buy. It's not like I bought the brothel. I just bought everybody who was acquiring the brothel, including like punters at the time.
You just walked in. It's
Just
like everyone is.
everybody in here. I now own you.
You went
What's a
in and
punter?
emptied the rest of the crew's account and just walk into
Yeah.
like
Buying.
I don't know, local brothel and go. I don't know what I'm trying to find the names of the local brothels. These are listed.
Oh, of course.
I love
they are.
this game.
They're listed buildings. You
Yeah.
can't do anything to them.
Yeah, the Jewel Bird and Shine, I think is a local one, and you just wander
no
in and you're like,
jewelers there.
everyone in this bar,
Source dog.
back to my place, and you just reveal the location of your lair to like
Come on
30
in.
people.
You
So,
lift
yeah.
up like you just
Um,
lift up the background and you're like,
Yeah, I assume Wasted.
there it is.
Wasted, you just get horrifically like tanked out of your mind.
Yeah, I get tanked due to the pain of having to take weird chemicals to make my tongue grow back. And
Yeah.
end up in like some
Yeah, where
gutter
do
in
you
an
wake up?
alleyway. In a gutter in an alleyway with like, for no reason I know, I just have a chicken. I have no memory of why. So I just returned.
This
I
chicken has
returned-
like no feathers because it's like you've been holding it while you've been sleeping. So like all of its feathers are gone. It's just like this bald chicken.
Trying to
It's
get
like,
away and you're just holding it still.
yeah,
So I just return back to the thing.
to find an
looking
orgy.
like white because I've taken so many drugs instead of my usual burnt look. With
Yeah.
my tongue's recovered and with this like braised semi-alive chicken,
Yeah.
and I just kind of stagger in the front door and fall over.
All right.
Nice. That's.
And finally, Will, what do you do that's insane and stupid?
I gamble away everything. I gamble away the crew. I gamble away the house. I gamble every last thing.
It's you. Like you realize you're actually like you go to the casino overnight and you're like, oh shit, I haven't actually got any money.
Yeah.
And you just reach back and you pull out the spirit anchor
Yeah.
to control the blue cocaine. You're like, fuck it,
I mean, we'll be
throw it
Yeah.
down on black.
Yeah.
Alright.
On that bombshell.
Well,
We,
let's do one last roll.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
So somebody roll me 1d6.
Gotta get in min-maxes.
Let me do it.
Okay.
Because I've
go for it.
failed every roll. So
One
this is a good idea.
last
Yes! Still
3.
average. Damn it.
Ooh.
So
Okay.
good.
Yeah. So here's what happens. The last thing we see of the Angry Cocks before they
Yes,
fade
Angry
into
Oblivion.
the annals of history
Anals.
is, I think you are walking down the street with like your chicken, like this like dead, like half dead chicken, and you bump into Caro, like coming the other way, like in just his underwear.
Hello.
And like I think Arlo like comes down like a pot like is just slumped outside. Like you can see like small sparks in his pupils where like ghosts have like been mildly possessing him. And then just like one of you opens the door and the smell of like sweat and people just comes out, and Zamira's like, "Yep." It's like that scene out of The Boat That Rocked when they walk into the sexy Mike's room, whatever it is, and there's just like 30 naked women in there. And yeah, and then you look down the street and you see Malena, the leader of the Red Sash, is just walking towards you with like 30 men behind her, all of them armed to the teeth, and just like, good.
Good game, boys.
That's
Good game.
awesome.
That's where the one shot will end.
Well played.
Yeah!
Awesome.
Oh,
Thank you,
dear.
Finbar. That was awesome. A lot of
Thank
fun.
you so
Good.
much.
I really like this system. I think it's.
Yeah.
I'm
cool
still
system.
learning it, the way that the certain like clocks and stuff work, and also when the full game comes out, there's just so much cool stuff they've got planned.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah,
Thank you
it's
for
really,
having
it's
me,
really
and
cool.
us.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. It's a cool system. I'm definitely going to probably look more into it. I definitely like the whole environment and the whole feel of everything. The
Yeah.
theme is really cool too, and that helped a lot. You saying Dishonored, I was like, oh, I know exactly what this place looks like.
The way I also think of it a bit for kind of maybe these more campy campaigns is kind of Guy Ritchie's Sherlock Holmes movies
Yeah,
with Robert Downey Jr. Seem to
that's
fit
what
it
I was
perfectly.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's lots of that kind of stupid hijinks. But yeah, because like the Kickstarter for it went through a while back, and like I think they're releasing loads of setting books. I think it's getting a couple novels actually done by a professional novelist. Alongside that, there's also doing some alternative settings, including like AI is controlling the world, a psychedelic 80s inspired sci-fi setting, also 70s inspired like spacefaring setting,
Great.
like a full-on like the whole your fantasy adventure is holding this town against the forces of the undead, Blades Against the Dark, is that one. And then the one I really want to play, which is it's the 1970s in Italy and you're the mafia, which sounds really cool. Yeah. But yeah. There's so much
Awesome
other
session.
stuff.
Yeah.
planning it.
That could.
Yeah, thank you.
Endless
Are you
opportunities.
joining us next, Finbar?
I am indeed back next
sweet.
to
Awesome.
play
Excellent.
Ignatius Cecilius.
Yes.
So we're gonna get into linear and min maxes and
Critmas.
crit miss, of course. Yes.
Merry
To
Christmas.
play the next game run by Linear. It's D&D 5e. So don't you guys go anywhere. And Finbar is going to stay with us, and Myth's going to stay with us. I'm going to go, but I'm going to be around, so don't worry.
Thank you, Joe.
Before
Thank
they
you,
have
Chip.
to say
Yeah.
goodbye, Chip and Joe, thank you for coming along and joining my usual insanity.
Thank you for having us, guys.
Yeah.
And if you haven't already gone and followed MathinTV, twitch.tv/MathinTV, what are you doing? What are you playing at? Who are you?
Go and follow that shit.
I don't-
because
I don't
it's
know.
I
not-
have typed in the chat. Go
Yes.
follow my stream.
It is the
I
shit.
Play
Follow
video
that-
games.
Follow that
and
team.
Apocalypse World, where these two play a crazy cultist trying to resurrect the monarchy and a prostitute who keeps trying to kill people and not being very good at it, respectively.
Guess who's who?
Awesome. So we
Seems to
will.
be a theme with Chip.
Yeah. it's-
Yes, violence.
A little bit, yeah.
Violence and
I'm
sex.
just making up for my really, really bad social life in these
That's
kinds
fine.
of
That's
games.
what I do. Welcome to my 24 hours. Crazy cat lady.
On the subject of
Crazy
people
cat
making up-
lady.
on the subject of people compensating, I once had a person describe his character to me as, so I want you to Google oh god, which famous basketball player was it? LeBron James. It's like, because I asked him like the point of height and weight and all that, and he goes, yeah, Google LeBron James. Yeah, those stats, but my skin color and my hair color. It's like, for fuck's sake, James. Also, if you're watching, James, hi. Hello. But yeah, cool.
Cool. So, so goodbye to